best, mate. Scotty, all the best tonight, mate. All the best. Scotty, it's your call. Now we've got a commemorative coin we better explain.
Yeah, so no controversy. That's the hand. Oh, is that right?
Beautiful. Scotty. That's a head. All the best.
Cameron Ling wins the toss then at the MCG on Friday Night Football. The umpires tonight, Chamberlain, Ryan and Jeffrey. And it's the umpires appreciation round. It's all about umpiring is everyone's business. Well, people make it their business, don't they? And of course, recruiting and retaining umpires so important, not only at this level, but throughout the levels. More so as we go down through the levels. Taking a look at the mega wall, bouncing around the various parts of the MCG. What do we see, boys?
Well, Steve Johnson is the one I'm really looking for. I'd like to see him playing really forward third for Geelong. It's interesting, Hawkins has actually come onto the interchange bench, so they've only got one really big forward down there, Pods Yardley. Menzel obviously is playing in that part of the ground, but sometimes I think he gets sucked upfield, Johnson. I think he's better when he's in the forward third. Swan, it's amazing. He's standing there on his own, and that's how he plays the game.
Finishes the game on his own. Just getting back to Steve Johnson, I think with Maxwell out, it's a good opportunity for Geelong to play a six-man forward line and make each of the Collingwood defenders genuinely accountable to one direct opponent.
Air of expectation then. Roar goes around the MCG. Cold night in Melbourne. Has held a few back, but still a vast crowd. Who will be on top later tonight? We're about to find out. We start that journey now. Umpire Ryan tosses the ball up. Wood knocks it down. Comes towards Cracker. Spills back inside the circles. Taken by Chapman. Boots inside the forward 50. And Menzel. Gee, I like this kid. Takes the mark on his chest. About 25 metres out, Menzel.
Not a whole lot of times. There's a quick kick forward out of the middle, and the Collingwood defence doesn't read it off the boot. You see Harry O'Brien's in a good spot. But really good body use by Menzel just to ease Reid under the footy.
He kicks goals. Having said that, touch and go behind. He kicks points as well.
Just a great look there at the wind conditions down there. Came off the boot relatively straight from Menzel, but obviously blowing from left to right.
It's his first game against Collingwood tonight. So what an occasion for him and for Duncan and Christensen. They're the new guys. And so Davis, Shaw a target, made a good contest. Ottens' handball good to Selwood in his 100th. Kicks to the top of the square. Collingwood have got the numbers, and Reid, well, Stokes has won a little battle, maybe. They get it behind. No damage, obviously, to Collingwood, but very few defenders take the mark these days when they're in that situation. They tend to punch, don't they?
You find, I think, in these big games where the atmosphere's been built up, the safety spoil's probably the way to go. It'd be great for confidence if you could obviously plucked it.
Well, Bartel had a bit of it, couldn't quite hold it. Goldsack, first match for Goldsack since the grand final, the second grand final where he came in and played in a premiership, so hasn't played for Collingwood at this level since.
Good results for Geelong in both of those kickouts. Collingwood have got the stoppage 60 metres from goal, but their zone pushing up has stopped them getting out.
Ottens, first hand of the ball, outside of the boot from Chapman. He was in good form last week. How will this bounce? Stifled down there by O'Brien, slips it away to Reid. Reid out of the back pocket then. All cats around the footy. Ottens, Johnson. Kicks towards the kickoff line. In from the side, Thomas. Good grab. One of the football. Releases Davis. Goes to the outer side. Against a bag of cats out there. Trying to get the back in the bag is Cracker. And he's going to win a free kick, I think. He has. Well done.
Hold there, David!
Gee, you don't say Wojcinski was slow very often, do you? But he was slow right there, slow thinking.
There were so many Collingwood players back in their defensive 50. He just held on to it, trying to wait for something to happen.
And, of course, he's copped Didak with that kick towards the ball. So Didak a bit ginger at the moment. Hunt bursting through. So good early signs for the Cats, but he bangs it back to Reid. So many Geelong players in a little circle, basically, at the moment, as Collingwood get it out. But again, Selwood, 50.
Well, this might help them get through the Collingwood zone. They'll be able to kick straight over the top of it. Interesting to watch the umpire. He's at about 35 metres from goal, will be the man on the mark. So clearly
Didn't go, Chris.
within kicking distance.
Both sides, when they've got the ball in possession, seem to be kicking the ball on, kicking the ball back to their direct opponent early days.
Don't have to worry about the Collingwood press if you've got the ball in your forward line.
Correct.
That's what Geelong have done for this first couple of minutes.
So Didak's coming from the ground as Seward's having a shot for goal. And it's a poor kick. I mean, if you were talking about his strong suits, Seward, that would be down the list, wouldn't it? Set shots for goal, but he's got so many other things that we admire.
A blustery night at the MCG. Often it's very hard until you get the hang of exactly where is the wind going, how is it affecting the kicks.
Buckley trusted with the kickoff, and a good one too, surrounded again by Cats out there, but Wood takes the mark for Collingwood. Little chip further afield, collision in midair, the two 13s, advantages paid around the outer side, then the kick comes down towards half forward. Eventually Swan finishes up with the football from Dawes. Cloak a bit of a fumble, looks back towards the square. Brown should mark, and he does. 8 metres out, directly in front.
First inside 50 there, obviously, for Collingwood. The Geelong players pushing right up, and they've had relative success in cutting the ball up from full back. But obviously, by having your numbers up makes you exceptionally vulnerable if you get it over the top.
And Harry Taylor left Cloak to try and meet the ball a bit further upfield, and as soon as he sort of got caught in between, a clear Collingwood player close to goal.
So Lee Brown, one of the big men up forward. Look at that ball go. Passing the goals, the Breeze grabs it. First goal of the evening, Collingwood.
It's all about scoreboard pressure, and in that regard, Collingwood have got the essentials. Geelong has owned the footy for the first few minutes. Kick 3 behinds. Collingwood have one forward half thrust and a 6-pointer. So certainly efficiency, the big tick for Collingwood.
Geelong were able to get it in their forward half from that very first centre clear and could lock it in for a certain point of time. But once the Collingwood side got it over the top, were able to generate a score straight away.
So here's the incident with Didak. So Wojcinski just slashed out. Got him in the shin by the good, didn't it?
Kick to the ankle.
And now Didak on the bench. So he's watching on.
Thank you.
Got to mention this with Lee Brown. He had 4 kicks in the last quarter of the last match he played and kicked 4 goals. So in his last, there's Didak, in his last 5 kicks, Brown, he's actually kicked goals. It was a remarkable effort against the Bulldogs, wasn't it? So
Clear it out.
against Ottens, we heard. So Sherrod Wellingham from the heart of the centre square. Cloak sets himself. Taylor belts it away. Mackie couldn't take it. Good hands from Shaw. Blair teasing a bit. Left foot doesn't find the target. Wojcinski just a half a fumble. Cloak off a step. Duncan, well done. Well, he was given a big test, Duncan. He had to keep his eye on the footy, and he passed with flying colours.
Emerging young player comes out wide. Selwood chips down towards half forward. On the lead was Chapman. Well played by Tuvey. No doubting when he's close to the footy. Goldsack grabs it and comes back to Thomas just forward of the wing. So Collingwood now getting a taste for it. Kicks inside the forward 50. Shielding the drop zone was Cloak.
Harry Taylor.
Let's go to Taylor. Is that 50 or an honest mistake?
Harry, yours. He didn't hear. Back.
Very rarely the umpire accepts that the player might have been confused. Most of the time, if the team that has been penalised kicks the ball, it's a 50, but allowed a bit of leniency.
He certainly was clearing an area for the ball to fall in. He was pushing Harry towards the fence, and the ball fell well away from the pier. No doubting the free kick either. Wood goes up and takes the mark. Last time we saw him on Friday Night Football was against the Tigers, and he played well. Just sends it beyond the wing. Enright. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Most unlike him. Flicked over the back, and away goes Sidebottom, who kicks it out of bounds on the full. Gee.
Some uncharacteristic errors. You wouldn't see Corey Enright do that all that often, and also still Sidebottom kick the ball out of bounds on the full. Just goes to show when it's games at this sort of level, the pressure does get to players. Expect some mistakes early.
So Scarlett down the line. Safety first kick, Pendlebury clever, couldn't quite though. And now Bartelli didn't have to rush, but he went quickly to Podsiadly, who turns and tries to caress the centre half forward. Not sure about that. Davis held up. You would love him to be able to get over the top there.
Just at the moment in their forward attacks, Geelong really haven't found the right option. They've actually gone forward. They've been a little bit hurried, and they've probably had a better option with another half step to balance.
If Chapman had been able to turn his man there, the kick over the top was the go, was it? Wood, who started pretty well. He did play well, as Dennis said, against the Tigers here on a Friday night. Corey can't get through Tuvey and Cracker. The ball spills out. Now side bottom, keeps that one in, kicks the ball to centre wing. Good battle there. Well played, Lonergan. Bartels handball to Ling.
Ling back in the side tonight. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Back goes O'Brien with courage. Reading it beautifully off hands Davis. Reading where Davis was going was Chapman. Podsy Adderley grabs it, hooks, bounces. Wrong way as far as Geelong fans are concerned. Swan scuttling back in characteristic fashion. So behind, and Geelong have got 4 of them now, and they trail by 2 points. Davis straight up the middle. Tarrant leaders in the clear. O'Brien confronted. Bit of height on the kick as a result. Not a good one. Corey comes up, takes the mark on his chest. Joel Corey swings it out wide. Kelly, he's been in pretty good form lately. Steps by side bottom. U-turn, kicks inside the forward 50. Davis is coming across. Reaching back was Tarrant. Oh, clever. Well done, Menzel. Like a soccer player. Dribbled it to his own advantage. Well done, Tarrant. The counter punch. He stifles it. It ricochets out of bounds.
Just looking at the stat sheet, Geelong obviously have a very low kick-to-handball ratio. At this stage, they're going 18 kicks just to the 4 hand passes. Clearly kicking the ball more often tonight.
So Wood and Hawkins. Thomas to chase hard, and then well played by Thomas. He gained 25 metres along the line.
It's basically, I think, the attitude with Geelong is we can't afford to hang around with the footy midfield and potentially create turnovers. So they're just kicking the ball forward. If Collingwood are going to get it, it's their back 50 where they've got to attack from.
Wood won the tap, but Kelly read it best.
Fine.
So Ottens comes back off the interchange.
Hands off Steele! Hands off Steele!
So heard the umpire a warning. Now Johnson confronted, did well to Corey, and side bottom with a little hip and shoulder boundary throw in.
It's interesting the way this game's being set up. Geelong seem to have an extra player around the stoppage area. Collingwood have got the extra player in their back 50. So I guess Geelong are saying we've got to get first hands on the footy. Let's get our numbers round there.
Ottens wins it this time, taken by Cracker, kicks it up towards the wing. Lonergan in career best form. He's got a problem though. Ball underneath him. Dawes stole it away. Slips a hand pass to Wellingham. Wellingham a short one to ball. Dropping back is Brown. Decides against going there. Sets it up for Cloak's strength, but then missed the footy. Back goes Taylor. Fumbles it. Cloak fell over. Picked up by Brown. Trying to slash his way through. Did pretty well. Knocked it for Didak, but it ricocheted off Didak and went out of bounds.
Gee, Taylor Cloak going to be a fascinating duel, isn't it? Saw a good one-on-one there between the two.
Good players, both good in the air.
Brad Ottens.
That's the advantage Geelong could potentially get with Brad Ottens, the superior ruck man on the ground. Lee Brown there clearly outsized and went for the hold.
So Selwood to Johnson. So no Jolly, of course, for the Pies. And Ottens a towering figure. Menzel read it pretty well. Tried a toe poke, didn't work. O'Brien just kept him off it. And then Pendlebury to Buckley. Well played by Ling. Did really well. Oh, he's...
No. On the arm, got his arm. Yeah, you've got his arm coming.
Gee, bad luck here because... Gee whiz.
The arm came
Afterwards, after the marking contest.
Yeah.
Scott, what for? You can read his lips.
Well... He's a great defender, Ling, and thought he played that really well. Reid goes back to Tuvey.
Does after count? I know it doesn't marriage, but on the outer side, pushing up the ground is Shaw. Very stiff. Off the boot there, very stiff that time was the Anvil. Out of bounds on the full. Ottens. Johnson drives it towards the wing. Doing well, Tuvey. Shaw's in front. Well, tried both feet. Didn't collect it. Tuvey, though, on the assist, kicks it towards the attacking 50. Ottens has started well. Takes the mark. Obviously a very important cog in this machine tonight. Good shepherd from Ottens, releases Taylor. Kicks beyond the wing. Buckley stays down. Doesn't get the crumb though. Well done by Hawkins. Into the path of Stokes. Quick release. Pendlebury taken high. He'll get the free kick.
Terrific pressure by Collingwood. Cats just can't create much space when they go forward. So Pendlebury's little kick, not far enough to Buckley, and then back to Swan, but cut off.
Johnson's on here.
So Bartel, now can they create something from this attack? Wide, very wide. Wynn gets hold of it a bit too and out of play.
What we're seeing in Collingwood's back half at the moment, with Nick Maxwell obviously not there, it's Harry O'Brien and Tuvey that they're the players they're trying to orchestrate as the free one. Harry O'Brien, and the player, the Geelong forward, is Travis Varco. They're trying to work off, but obviously don't want to disrespect that position.
Ling off, Selwood on. Selwood's been busy for possession so far. Here's Chapman, swings it across his body. They come from all directions. Only a couple compete. Off hands, taken by side bottom, tackled immediately. Podsy Adderley comes over the top. They'll have a ball up. Dangerous spot, about 35 metres out from goal, directly in front.
We get used to Geelong playing a free-flowing run-out-of-defence game. I think they've set up to make this a low-scoring game. Try and stop Collingwood at the same time.
Johnson, aided by a wonderful tap, brings up the 5th behind for Geelong. Now, a stifling game so far, but of course they haven't played with the sub. So maybe it'll break open a little bit later.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more just the where you put your numbers. Geelong are prepared to have one less forward to give one extra player in the middle of the ground. So they're set up to win the ball in the middle, but it's going to be hard for them to get easy shots at goal in their forward third.
So Reid in the back half. In right court underneath it by side bottom. Dawes so often plays in front. It's effective, isn't it? Didac to side bottom. Just back to Johnson.
Just here.
We talk about often Collingwood's tackling pressure. That's 12 Geelong tackles to Collingwood 3. So just at the moment, the pressure that's being applied is Geelong doing it.
Stevie J, 3 goals, 12 this year, and only 3 of those set shots. Cracker's little give. Tuvey, very good. Ball, gone.
Very much as Collingwood look about Geelong at the moment, because they seem to be out them in their front half.
Now Hunt's a long bomber, we know that, and that's what he does, but he's not greatly direct to kick. Reid, Bartel, got a long handball away, a bit too long. Reid and Menzel, deliberate was it? It was.
The tackling intensity from Geelong.
Handball straight at it. Daniel Menzel.
There's 4 cats queuing up for the free kick.
Directly at the line.
Nothing like an early goal.
We've got a left footer over there we can give it to.
1 metre.
This bloke's not bad though, is he? We've seen him a few times. He can kick it.
Took one from Subi on a similar angle.
Check side. Scores a level.
Just talking about the Geelong tackling pressure at the moment. They only had 40 last week against North Melbourne. They're on track for 100. You just get the sense that there would have been a real theme from Chris Scott and the coaching staff during the week.
Yeah, out contest Collingwood at the loose ball, or the hard ball gets in the packs and out tackle them. That'd certainly be the theme you would suspect.
6 behinds to a goal. There's Swan. Buckley loops it over the top. O'Brien, that was clever. Virtually no space. Created some. Kicks it shy of the wing. Blair knocks it down for Pendlebury. Now that is a hard tackle to break. Selwood from one side, Hunt from the other, and he was gone. Hunt inside the 50 again. Geelong try again. Hands in the back by Ottens. Well, that's not a percentage play. The big guy pushing the little guy with the bald head.
Gee, what a win for Swan there. Hard man to move, Swan. And the big guy couldn't get rid of him legally. Now Blair wide. Shaw. Very, very short to Buckley. I feel like Collingwood's a better team with a Buckley in this team, don't you?
Need to be patient here, Collingwood. The slow players obviously allowed Geelong to set up their defensive structures.
Long kick by Buckley to centre wing. Oh, Dawes did really well, outnumbered. Almost held it. Ball brilliantly done. Side bottom to Pendlebury. Heavy traffic suddenly becomes open space. Thomas, clever kick, gives Cloak a run. It sits. Well, the handball was too sharp in the end. Side bottom goes back. Now Cloak can thump it. He kicks towards the pocket. They've got the numbers. Thomas couldn't quite. Kelly in the back half.
What a great Great spoil it was there from Mackey. Got a fist in. The ball is coming back though. Shaw has it. Goes out wide. Taken by Sidebottom. He's been active. He's about 80 metres from goal. Shaw offers outside the 50. Play on's the call now. Sidebottom still not enamoured with the situation up ahead. Beats a hasty retreat. Comes back to Shaw. Now he runs forward. Kicks inside the 50. In front Wood. That's a testing mark. That tells you something.
Mitch back a metre. Mitch back.
Wants to go and does. Oh, that tells you something too. That was a terrible kick. He was walking as he kicked it. It spills behind the pack. Knocked forward by Hawkins. Comes back to him from Ling. Across to Podsiadly. Had a lot of players back. There's only a couple forward and one of them is through. Johnson barking instructions. Puts it in the path of Menzel. He soccers and misses everything. But that's not a bad result. The players now will go the length of the ground. We'll have a boundary throw in.
See the turnover here from Cameron. Well, that's just a real basic. You've got to go back off the mark, get some momentum, even on a short kick, get some momentum kicking forward.
Otten's front spot. Wood back there now. And then Pendlebury. Stevie J just couldn't run, could he?
It's just a sliding group of 36 players. Wherever the ball is, the 36 players are pretty much in that half of the field. A lot of players around the footy.
Podsiadly, the third man up. Reid couldn't quite hang on, and then Tarrant threw it almost. He slapped it away, didn't he? Selwood outnumbered, little tunnel ball. Tuvey, O'Brien, hard man to tackle, bangs it only as far as Mackey. Looks up, delivers to centre half forward. Thomas did well. Shaw running back. Kelly and Shaw. Shaw off the ground. Well played. In dispute, Scarlett. Well done, Kelly, and a tackle from Goldsack, boundary throw-in.
You often think of teams trying to deny Geelong time and space. I think Geelong are trying to deny Collingwood time and space, and at this stage of the game they're succeeding, even though the scoreboard's equal.
Backhander down from Hawkins. Found it then. Joel Corey kicks inside the forward 50. Tarrant can't get away. Back to Buckley. They don't mind the ball in his hands. He uses it well again. Flicks a hand pass back to Reid. Reid comes out of defence. Well, the crowd groaned. I think for a moment they thought it was headed for a Geelong chest. Not the case. Sidebottom did well. The stretch took the mark. Right half back. So Sidebottom, 5 possessions now. Harry O comes out wide. Thomas lays it off immediately. Swan looks inside the forward 50, but that's not a good kick. Scarlett goes back. 5 times All Australia. Best and fairest, I think it was 0-3. Out of defence, Mackey bounces one to Chapman. Chapman loops it into the path of Selwood. Thought about drawing a man. Tuvey stayed off. Selwood, all the time in the world, goes to Johnson. Now, is he in range?
Looks like the ball is going left to right down that end. That's the one thing we can see from outside. So was Johnson picked up where the wind and how the wind is affecting the ball at this angle?
What's his record, Bruce?
3 goals, 12 this year.
3-13.
And only 1-3 from set shots. So most of them have been the snaps, where he's very good normally.
We had Paul Chapman actually lurking around the area. The trainer just went out to him. We'll keep an eye on Paul Chapman. He's one player Collingwood can't allow just to be floating around the 50 on a set play like that.
The most remarkable thing about the game, 7 scoring shots to 1. Collingwood hardly inside their 50 at the moment, but no damage done on the board. Wojcinski was hung on to a little bit in boundary throwing.
And on that point, Bruce, that's the important things when you play the very best side. You've got to put, once you've got the opportunity, you've actually got to put the scoreboard pressure on.
Don't know whether they've had a gimme yet. They've certainly had very kickable goals, but they've all been from a bit of distance with this wind, this swirly breeze.
So Enright gets it from Ling. Collingwood with numbers. Hawkins, Reid front spot. Did he do enough? Back to O'Brien. Good tackle coming in. Stokes looks up, likes a goal against Collingwood. Wow, can you believe it?
Seriously, is it? Can Geelong get heartened by the fact they're dominating most parts of the game, but avoid the frustration that they're just kicking behinds?
Down goes Podsiadly. Crumbed by Pendlebury. Podsiadly is hurt. Wood sends the ball high towards the wing. Was that hands in the back? Apparently not. Knocked down by Taylor. Picked up by Ball. Miscue there from Shaw. That's a rarity. Applies a tackle on Lonergan. Spills across to Pendlebury. It was touched off the boot and pushed across the line by Wojcinski. So a boundary throw in down towards left half forward. Now what is that?
That was almost missed it.
His feet and legs have got minds of their own tonight. Remember, on the outer side had 2 goes at one. Missed both times, and that time, well, he grazed it. Here's Stokes. Interesting hand pass. Harry O'Brien in the opposite direction. Look at the dash. Oh, smothered. Ricochets. Through the centre circle. Varco leads in the race. He was the man who smothered the kick. With him is Sidebottom. Sidebottom on the wrong side of him, though. Varco still going. They count those as stats. Sidebottom. Patience wins the day. Terrific stuff. Hand passes to Buckley.
Gee, what a great turnover fight. The man still Sidebottom. Now Shaw, much more Shaw on this occasion. To Wellingham. Looks up. He's got a couple of options. Blair. Well done, Wojcinski. And Mackie.
The intention there from Wellingham was good to actually draw. I think it was Blair to come to him. But what he was doing was actually telecasting to the rest of the Geelong players where he was going to kick the ball.
It's a good bit of play, this.
Just get that.
Varco goal side was dangerous, wasn't it? Sidebottom was able, with O'Brien, to turn the ball over. Enright, Kelly, Thomas, to Ball, tucked away in the pocket, kicks to the top of the square. Oh, Cats missed it a bit, and then it ricochets off cloak for a behind. So Collingwood get there. Second score only. They've been averaging 8 scores a quarter this year. They have been prolific, Collingwood.
And also been averaging, I think it's 65 inside 50s, where at this stage in the game they're only at 9.
Mackie to himself, drives it well outside the defensive 50. Harry at the back. Well done by Cracker. Slaps it across towards support from Duncan. Stolen away by Tuvey. Missed by Didak. Backing into the pack there was Joel Corey, taken by Dawes. Dawes slips a hand pass away to Buckley. The look away hand pass to Didak. Confronted by Hawkins. A lot of bulk to get around. Socket off the ground by Wood. Back past the man who had it initially, Wojcinski. Ricochets off Selwood. It's like a pinball machine in there. Taken by Turvey. Little chip. Blair tracks it. Oh, quick thinking there by Scarlett. Knocked it away. Got the free kick. Oh, that was well played. Well played by the veteran. Keep their eyes on the footy, and Scarlett did. Goes short.
Play on.
Ling to half forward. Duncan.
Now he's got Varco running here. Can he get the ball over the top? That's the kick. Getting back Davis. Davis and Varco. And then Davis did really well. Selwood attacks it. Free kick to Selwood.
Oh, had to be a free kick for Davis, didn't it?
To hold. Right on 50. Time back on. Wait for it.
Now it'd be a miracle if he could go. Well, he goes short because he can't go all the way. And he finds Stokes.
Yeah, there's a bit of zoning going by the Collingwood defence, but Stokes just dropped into the hole and no one was actually looking for him.
Gee, what a big kick this is. I mean, so you can see Stokes in the bottom right.
Just into the hole.
They need a little cushion here. They've preserved it. 3 times he's kicked 3 goals against the Pies. He has a very good record. A famous prelim final he played against them. He's got it.
Well.
Geelong are going well. They've got their first goal.
The worst goal in that process, mate.
Real arm wrestle in this game. Going into it, Collingwood was the #1 scoring team, Geelong the #1 defensive team. Playing out that way, Geelong being able to set up their structures and playing the ball very much in their front half. Collingwood look very attacking when they get it over the top. But the game's certainly been playing on Geelong terms at the moment.
Quite a story. So the margin 7 points.
The moral victory is to Collingwood because they're out-pressuring, Geelong are out-pressuring Collingwood at the moment.
Selwood out of the middle. I think Mick was telling Heath sure he'd like him to kick it. Just make a little contact, son. Here's Kelly. Runs to the 50. Kicker's on the way. They've got 2 back-to-back goals in the space of 30 seconds.
Oh, isn't it fantastic when a team can get the ball running through the front half of the centre square with a centre bounce? The defence is completely under pressure. Fantastic hit out. Selwood, good option. Johnson, good option. And I think Kelly knew that the ball was going to go at that angle because that's where the ball's gone in the first half dozen shots.
The key to the centre clear was Joel Selwood's come from the back half of the square, the circle I should say, come across at an angle, but most importantly took the ball on the move, therefore had the forward momentum going on, could create the play, flick it onto Steve Johnson. So all sides look far more dangerous when they're actually attacking the ball from a stoppage on the move, as you saw from Joel Selwood just then.
Saw the stats for Selwood, 100th game tonight, stellar career, having a big game, a big influence. And here he goes again. So second clearance within a minute. Bodziadli front spot. Menzel and O'Brien. Harry hanging on a bit. And so are Collingwood hanging on a bit at the moment.
Would they do good centre bounce clearances? Good in the air, but just Selwood's ability to hunt the ball through the congestion.
Connaughton set something up here. Wood got half of it. Little gift from Tuvey. Side bottom Varco. Quiet first quarter for him.
Come through.
And again a boundary throw in. So what a revealing opening term so far. 10 scoring shots to 2.
Yes.
Just those statistics there. We thought Geelong might have the advantage with Brad Ottens in the ruck. It's certainly panning out that way at the moment.
Selwood again. Was he pushed in the back? He was.
To him now, thank you.
With the free kick 55 metres out. Coming up to quarter time, and of course, Bruce, we've got to keep our eyes peeled. Any shenanigans? We don't have injured players, though I suppose we can have shenanigans as they come off. There goes the kick now towards full forward. Big leap by Hawkins. Socket off the ground by Chapman. And it just misses. Go back to last Tuesday night. Controversy at the quarter time break.
So would you love the Hawkins to clunk that mark, because they've been getting the ball in there. If they can get one big, strong contested mark deep forward, that's what they need to make the most of this dominance upfield.
Davis kicks in towards the outer side. There's the siren, quarter time. Geelong 11 scoring shots. 2-9-21. Collingwood 1-1-7. This is Friday Night Footy. Selwood out of the middle. I think Mick was telling Heath sure he'd like him to kick it. Just make a little contact, son. Here's Kelly. Runs to the 50. Kickers on the way. They've got 2 back-to-back goals in the space of 30 seconds. Friday Night Football, you can't beat it at the MCG. Things are warming up. Geelong 8 consecutive behinds to start, then a couple of late goals. They lead at 21-7, and Selwood so busy with 10 possessions. I'm with Luke Hodge. And Luke, value for money so far, do you think, for this lead?
Probably not. I think Geelong dominated the first quarter, and to kick 8 points straight, it hurts. But from to finish off with 2 goals in red time, it helps. And
Selwood's been terrific.
Yeah, exactly right, Joel. It's his 100th game, and as you said, he set the standard.
Tim Watson is down there. I can see him in the top right-hand corner. Tim?
Well, the Cats have really squeezed Collingwood in that first quarter in more ways than one. I want to show some vision in a tackle situation. Now, Scott Pendlebury is one of the most dangerous midfielders in the competition. Here's the tackle now. Selwood goes first, and then Josh Hunt. Now, the thing that Pendlebury can do, he can stand up in a tackle, and he can still deliver the ball. And that's one of the really impressive things that Geelong did in that first quarter. They stopped the ball from actually spitting out from those tackles. They had 20 tackles to 8. It was a really impressive quarter. The other thing I want to mention too is, even though the flags look like the wind is blowing the other way, out there on the ground, Geelong really had the advantage of the win in that first quarter. So maybe that will be a factor in this game too.
And look, just quickly, the big guys for Collingwood up forward haven't been a factor so far.
Yeah, I guess with the conditions, as I said, it was a very strong win towards Geelong that quarter. So, look, hopefully for Collingwood, they get it down there and give them a chance.
Margin 14 points. Here's Bruce.
Let's see if it's enough to hold that lead. Didac, interesting.
Is that domination? 22 inside, 50-9. So, yeah, a couple of goals lead. They certainly haven't made the most on the scoreboard.
Geelong certainly kicking the ball more. 55 kicks, 22 hand passes. Only 3 Geelong players out there have had more hand passes than kicks. Hawkins, Ottens and Lonergan, the big fellas.
So Selwood, so a 4th clearance coming up for him. 11 disposals. What a match he's playing in the early part. Well played by Reid. Got rid of Menzel. Out wide to Luke Ball. So ball at half back. Measures the kick along the boundary. Doors a target. Had all the numbers though, the Cats. Kelly and Scarlett and Blair.
Thank you, guys. Tap. Going behind.
Wood wins the tap. Kelly and Swan to chase it down. Swan 5 disposals in the opening term. Pendlebury had 6. Hunt, side bottom. Selwood, high tackle. Well, he had 58 Brownlow votes, Selwood, in his first 3 seasons of footy. 4 seasons, I should say. The way he's playing tonight, he might get another 3 tonight and a few already this year. He's having a magnificent opener.
Crowd not happy about that free kick for the high tackle, but he's got ink around his neck. Watch this again.
Yes, mate.
That's because he always goes in a bit crouched, so the high contact often comes.
He lifts his arm up when he's got the ball there, and the actual arm of the opposing player slides up the elbow to the shoulder.
Careful, giving away those household secrets. Here's Reid across half back. I'll be after you. Goes out towards the boundary. Heath Shaw. Still not great contact. It goes down towards half forward, taken by Scarlett. Across to Kelly. Kelly. Long ball towards half forward. Clever mark, Podsy Adley. Took a knock last week to the knee. Seems to be fine. Kicks inside the forward 50. Menzel at the second attempt. Reid. Bit of a fumble from Duncan running away from his own goal. Johnson. What is it, Bruce? 3:13. Hand passes across to Chapman. To Corey. He doesn't kick goals. This wanders down towards the pockets and pushing. And a free kick is going to Selwood, is it?
He just keeps going where the ball is.
Just took your eyes off the footy, Harry, and made contact from front on.
He's having a night out.
It's a free every time.
You see the eyes there of Harry putting the arms around.
Mate, as I said, as soon as you take your eyes off the footy and go into him, it's a free.
He does it all. He's an artist. When he's in this form.
When you had a 2-on-1 there, really disappointing result there for the Pies.
In he comes, and he misses.
That highlights what Tim mentioned at quarter time. As soon as that was a 30-metre shot, and the wind really got hold of it and pulled it left to right. So it's obviously going to be very hard to score down that end.
Hey, Stokesy, that's it.
So Buckley
Yours.
goes down the centre. Good-looking kick, cracker. Hung in the air. Johnson made a good contest. Duncan's handball. Kelly on the up. Hunt on the wrong side. Now he's on the right side, but he couldn't quite get it. Blair back to Hunt. Varco, brilliantly done. Stokes, not quite. Had to grubber it. Had to get underneath. Couldn't do it. And Buckley got hold of it and belted it away to the anvil.
Oh, as good a save as I've seen since the EPL.
Oh, that's right. Wolverhampton Wanderers won. The ball comes back in the centre square, taken by side bottom, gets it out to Cracker. Cracker 55 metres out. Here's one for Collingwood. Cloak runs back in an open goal square, gets the goal. How quickly things can turn.
Really good in the middle there, Shane. By a good work, mate.
Yes, it's just a quick transference from one end to the other, and that's the problems if you get a lot of players in your forward line to help lock it in. When you get out, there's plenty of space to work in for the opposition forwards.
Couldn't tell, mate. Sorry.
Great smother here by Jared Blair. That really set the ball in motion. And when Geelong play like this, they push up really high. But once you can break through those defences, you're going to find plenty of space to operate in, as we saw then. AFL may need to work harder on marketing their umpire appreciation round, though. Lots of Collingwood fans seem to be unaware of it.
But they have been for years, Tim. Nothing's changed. But both Collingwood goals from the goal square tonight has been a feature of their season, actually. Goals very deep. It's a terrific play by them against all the odds here. Wellingham, so much of the ball, Geelong, and so little to show for it so far. Swan, Didak, good to see him out there, Didak. Well, that's not the right kick for him. So he's been subdued, Didak, this season, but certainly copped a knock early in this match. He hasn't had the same flair almost, has he, about him this year? He's been a much more modest type of performance.
Yeah, he used to be the first Collingwood player tag, but just at the moment he's just part of their group, not necessarily the one you go to first.
Scarlett puts it up. Bartel's big fly. Otten's tried to control that a bit. That was almost a throw. Ling, Corey, good tackle. Build it forward. Bartel comes back. Doesn't get a lot on the kick. Hawkins and Ball. Ball got down low. Pies won a free kick.
One of the things that when it's a really blustery night at the MCG, the ball is blown in, but we're seeing a lot of kicks where players are making very poor contact because the ball's being blown pretty much off their instep.
Thomas, hand passed over his shoulder. It comes back to
Another
him.
one.
And he puts it out of bounds on the full. Not even close. Look at that.
Blustery wind in a high-pressure game. It's certainly not a great exhibition of the skills, but a great exhibition of pressure footy.
Well, tonight's going to be one of those nights which will test Collingwood's boundary ball movement.
Yeah.
If they tend to be so precise in the way they go about it, they really need to be sure of their skills.
And right to half forward. Well done by Podsy Adderley. Knocked it to Duncan, who kicks it down towards the pocket. Menzel battling there with Tuvey. Menzel goes off the ground. O'Brien gets back. In his hip pocket there is Stokes. Close to the boundary line. Pendlebury could have been taken high. Pushed across the line by Thomas. And we've got a boundary throw in. Well, the Cats giving as good as they've taken so far. Wood did well. Got it down to Ball. High ball back towards midfield. Brown backed himself. There's one man between Cracker and the goals. Well, two. One close to him and one deep. Now Collingwood work it forward. Blair got the hand pass from Cloak into the path of Swan. He goes after it. He gets through. He kicks the goal. Almost had him in right. Almost had him. Oh, he's going to be annoyed. Gets to his feet. Did you ever have one of those days? I can hear him.
That's always the danger when you're playing against the very top sides. You don't put them away on the scoreboard early. It's 2 goals 10, obviously, to 3 goals 1. Just have that ability to punish the turnover. Geelong playing with a really strong, solid forward press. Very akin to what Collingwood are renowned for. But what it does do is make you quite vulnerable on the turnover. Just on the turnover here, the Geelong players pushing right up in the press and leaving themselves vulnerable in their back half. Great strength here by Dane Swan. That's what he's obviously renowned for. Great calling by Dennis. Would be annoyed.
So 3 goals from the goal square for Collingwood tonight. No one better than Swan in that situation, is there? He was the right bloke at the right time. It was a good kick by Blair too. So Shaw out wide. Collingwood got a bit of spring in their step right now. Johnson. Geelong still lead it. Enright wants it out. And it's a boundary throw.
Every time you look at the Geelong interchange bench, they've got a tall on it. Currently it's Ottens, they've had Hawkins, they've had Lonergan. I think they're kind of thinking they've probably got one big guy too many at the moment, which is going to put a lot of pressure on their medium-sized guys to run the game out.
Chapman's kick. O'Brien got an awkward bounce and then Tuvey held up. Ball comes to Pendlebury. God played Pendlebury, brilliantly done. And then Davis scoots away to centre half forward. Cloak made a contest. Lonergan takes a good mark.
Mark, he had both touches, Lee.
Lonergan and Taylor, the 2 players taking the tall Collingwood forwards, enabling Scarlett to play that mop-up role. 3rd role on Lee Brown at the moment.
I reckon our guest tonight, our guest commentator, Luke Hodgson, know a bit about Taylor and Lonergan. What a job they did on Franklin and Roughead, didn't they, about 3 weeks ago? So on the back foot at the moment, the Cats.
No doubt Lonergan's in career best form and Harry not far behind him. Duncan throws it on the boot. Oh, Stokes. Sure. Well, Pendlebury. It's hard to appreciate things like that. The ball goes down towards half forward. Here comes Blair, little fella. Scarlett went to ground, played it pretty well, gets up. They're still at him. Oh, well done, Collingwood. Spills to Cracker. Cracker inside the forward 50. Sleight of hand by Corey Enright, if you don't mind. After it goes Dawes. Attracts the crowd. In goes Cracker. Whistle holding the ball. And a free kick is going Collingwood's way. Oh, the other way.
Yeah, as soon as he went down over the ball, Dawes, if he didn't get it out, there's about a lot of players trying to hold it in, but couldn't get it out.
Umpire Chamberlain confusing players and commentators there, pointing in the wrong direction, but that's easy enough to do on a hectic night like tonight. Here's Chapman at half-back.
Gets it from Hunt. Now he's going to switch it here. Lonergan. Now the next kick's the important one. Mackie at half-back. Almost up to centre wing. Dynag on the mark. Mackie uncertain. Decides to go with a long kick to half forward. Davis and Stokes. Davis went to ground. gets up, Stokes with him. He's legging him at the moment. Back inside. Buckley, well done. Releases Daisy. And then Thomas to centre half forward. A one-on-one. Enright belts it away. Dawes, cracker, backtracks, looks up. Neat-looking kick. Swan couldn't quite. Was he brought down? Ronigan out of play.
Now that's an unconventional but mouth-watering contest, that one. Dane Swan playing forward on Corey Enright.
Isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, mate.
So what have we got? 2-10-22 to 3-1-19. 12 scoring shots to 4. Short one coming out from Selwood. Menzel, he's on the wing, goes with the outside of the boot, runs it down towards half forward. It's working back towards the boundary. Davis gets there though for Collingwood, gives it to Reid. Now Reid thought about going long to Didak. It comes to Buckley. Now here's a good kick. He spots Didak, but he's cramped for room. Varco got to him. It'll still get to Didak by about 2 steps. Wojcinski was closing. Didak goes out wide, and the sliding mark is taken there by Luke Ball. So Ball, the defensive side of the wing. Hasn't seen a lot of it so far. 8 possessions. That's okay. Kicks beyond the wing. Taylor's in front. Almost the mark. Dawes, cracker under pressure. Kicks it down towards half forward. In front is Cloak. Wellingham a half chance. Rolls up the back of Kelly.
Did well there, Kelly, and then Cloak goes back to Dawes. Dawes with the torpedo. Swan brilliantly done. Gets rid of his man. Bartel and Swan. Gets back to side bottom. Side bottom goes bang, and Collingwood's in front.
Isolating Swan one-on-one is a great move on Collins' behalf. He is such a great one-on-one player, as we saw there, just the way that he created that. This bloke's a terrific finisher too. Side bottom, we know that. But talk about mouth-watering matchups. At the moment, Thomas is running with Selwood and trying to just get away from him at stoppages when they go forward.
Didak got it from side bottom. Thomas left the footy behind. Didak comes again. Goes with the right boot down towards half forward. Under pressure now suddenly this Geelong defence, and the mark is going to be paid to Cloak.
Come through.
Cloak is 40 metres out, so a spate of accurate kicks setting Collingwood up after Geelong's inaccuracy to start the game. 2-12 to 4-1, so 12 scoring shots to 5, but Collingwood lead by 3 points. Only Madonna has done more with less.
They have done a good job. They're down 18 to 8 in the clearances, Collingwood. So to be in front on the scoreboard with another shot at goal, getting killed that badly around the clearances.
Travis Cloak, sometimes good, sometimes not so good.
Gee, you're getting Madonna and Mae West mixed up for a moment, are you? When I'm good, I'm really, you know.
A bit of license. My own interpretation.
Lee just mentioned the clearances, the centre clearances. The Collingwood typically have been so dominant at the centre clearances. They're not at this stage. They're down 6-1. So they've a noticeable shift in their intensity around the ball, and that's what's generating their forward thrust at the moment.
Mackie goes long. Menzel a target. Thomas doing well. Tim talked about his new role. Shaw kicks it to about 40 metres. Mackie drops it, and side bottom goes back again and puts them further in front.
Right back in the game here. It's around the contest. Collingwood certainly lifted in intensity, smashed early in the tackles, but getting back in now. The next phase of the game for Collingwood to get on top in would be the centre clears. Geelong still dominating that statistic. They can get that rolling. Danger signs. To see the contest here in the forward half, Andrew Mackie needed to be stronger than that. Just took his eyes off at the crucial stage and a crucial turnover.
Had the extra play or two, Collingwood, didn't they? Protecting the zone on the way out.
Thomas spins out of one cat grasp into another. Ball advanced by Collingwood. In goes Ball, tackled by Ling. And the umpire calls for it. Thomas working very hard. He's having a fine season. Become a terrific player. Ottens feeds it back. Ling taken high, was he? He's going to get the free kick.
An abuse 50-metre penalty, I think.
Abuse.
Just here, thank you. Thank you, Scott.
Pendlebury standing the mark. Don't know who the abuser was as the ball goes down towards the pocket, off hands and out of bounds. So Geelong with a chance to get a goal, and they desperately need one. There's been a huge momentum shift, and right now it's wearing black and white.
And there's a momentum shift in the numbers there. The inside 50 is 22-9 the first quarter. Double 9-4 for Collingwood second quarter.
Otten's laid it down. Johnson. And then Shaw did really well there. And Wellingham stood up. Thomas. What a little burst he's having, Daisy. He kicks the ball along the line.
Isn't it interesting that Collingwood have kicked 5 goals too? One of the things that Collingwood have done so much better in 2011, their accuracy is up about 10%, which is about 3 goals from the same number of shots, because their accuracy has been much better this campaign.
And without oversimplifying it, Lee, they've had so many scoring goals from close in this year.
Yeah.
And that helps. Well, Thomas continuing to, well, do what Selwood did in the opening turn.
You mentioned Selwood and Thomas. They're the 2 leading contested possession players on the ground. Joel Selwood with 10 and Dale Thomas with 9, both driving at the footy for their respective clubs.
So Wood and Ottens. Johnson. Still with Johnson.
Joel Selwood knocked off the ball. Advantage,
So
advantage.
you heard the umpire, so the advantage given, and Johnson's kicks a good one and finds Duncan 45 metres out, tight angle. He's a good kick, this guy. This is into the teeth of the breeze.
See Hawkins on screen. You'd love the ball from a Geelong point of view just be dropped about the top of the square, and as we mentioned the first quarter, a real clunk strong mark from their key forward.
He hasn't missed a set shot this year, Duncan, but well, this would be a miracle. I don't think anyone will kick a goal from that pocket tonight.
Yeah, you've got to get the ball right out to the left, and maybe the wind will push it in.
That stat about set shots, it does depend where you take them, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Richo can give a few tips. He nailed one last weekend in Adelaide from the dead pocket.
He did. We have photographs to prove it. Richo's got most of them, but we have a couple of copies left. As the ball goes out of bounds, was it on the full? No, off hands, boundary throw in. Michael Malthouse. Just another day at the office. His first loss as a coach came against Geelong. Footscray against Geelong, round 284. That ball slow to release. Kelly. I think he flung it out. Back goes Swan. Taken by Reid. High ball beyond the wing. Falling to the ground. Dawes couldn't hang on. Enright under pressure from Cracker. Well worked with Jinsky. Gave it to Hunt. That's a clever kick along the line with his right boot. Kelly. So much of the football now comes looking for Johnson. Davis leaping over the top. Wood can't find it. Inadvertently off the boot of Hawkins. Came across there to Kelly. Kelly's hand pass. Not good though. Blair steps aside. Wellingham was coming through. It's out of bounds.
Been really impressed with the defensive efforts from Leon Davis. He's been caught in a one-on-one contest a couple of times and played it really well. On that occasion came in as the third man and affected the spoil. Really positive signs off the half-back flank.
And Thomas's tackle on Kelly was a beauty then. Chivaco having a quiet night. He needs to get involved. Puts the tackle on Goldsack. Hunt can't quite take the maul on. Corey against the flow. Goldsack's got him. Ball up.
Guys, thank you. Let him up.
I feel like Collingwood's a bit further in front, to be honest. It's 32-22.
They certainly lifted their intensity on the score, got the scoreboard, but they also round the footy much better.
Swan beautifully done. Thomas cheekily. Stokes can't quite get him. Brown dropped it. Enright. Scarlett. Well, Scarlett may get a free. No. Taylor. Thomas cuts it off. And it's a boundary throw in.
He's been good, Thomas, actually, this last 10 minutes. He's really getting involved in every passage of play.
Great insight into the respect Matthew Scarlett had for Scott Pendlebury there. Looked up, saw him, and suddenly everything he was planning changed because Pendlebury can apply a tackle, and Scarlett knew that. Got rid of the ball very quickly. Wood goes backwards. Not 15. Davis lines up. Not accurate. Out of bounds on the full. Margin 10 points. Just under 7 minutes out from half-time. That's a beautiful kick. Taylor, looping hand pass. Enright, short one, very short. Lonergan Doesn't really relish it down there. His bootstraps. Taylor under pressure. High ball. Joel Corey misjudged it completely. This Bree is really fooling the players on occasions. Corey as far as Enright. Confusing. Gives it across towards Wojcinski. Telling. Long inside the forward 50. Reed almost. Well done by Buckley. Reads it off hands and goes for distance and finds a man. Swan.
Now Brown's on if he can get the ball deep and hard. Blair the front spot. Scarlett played him well. Wellingham. Now Brown gets involved. Scarlett well done. Played it brilliantly. The number 3 cat, you might have to elevate him. He might have Polly Farmer. Oh, it was good play out wide. So Scarlett named number 3 behind Gary Ablett Sr. and Polly Farmer. What an honour that is. Duncan had it stripped off him. Swan, well done, Duncan. Swan holds up. Advantage! You heard the umpire. Advantage to Davis, to Blair. So Blair between centre wing and half forward.
Oh, how good was Scarlett moments ago. 3 Collingwood players around him. They had him in the old triangulation of fire. The Bermuda Triangle. We'll call it the Bermuda Piangle as the ball goes towards the outer side. Knocked down out there by Menzel. Taken by Buckley. Menzel gets boot to ball. Close to the boundary line. He's a master of the soccer kick, Menzel. He sends it down towards Bartel, who's been quiet. Bartel taken high. Slips it to the middle. Wojcinski's away. Looks inside the forward 50. Ling's got it. The margin 10 points. The skipper has the ball now. He can kick a goal, Ling. Needs to go back and just concentrate with this breeze. Pushing the ball left to right, I think, here. But I've seen him kick some telling goals. Back on the side tonight. Cameron Ling, we're right behind him. Kick is on the way, and when you know it, it goes the other way. He got the doozler.
Bartel was tough here.
Just went in.
Get the feeling the game's right in the balance now. There was certainly a Collingwood surge at the start of this quarter. Now right in the balance, a genuine arm wrestle.
Well, Geelong are usually so precise going into their forward line, but under the pressure Collingwood are applying, they just tend to be blasting, not picking the best option.
Haven't scored for 20 minutes, Geelong.
Well, there's one about 3 minutes ago when Wojcinski could have ran and attacked the 50-metre mark, but kicked the ball in long and deep, where really there was 3 Collingwood players to 1 Geelong. Menzel.
That was when Buckley came away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now Johnson read it well, and then Corey inside. Chapman in a hurry kicks the ball to the pocket. Hawkins goes to ground. Podsiadly, O'Brien. Hawkins toe poked the ball. Good result for the Cats.
Yeah, it's a win. If you can keep the ball in your forward line and create a stoppage, that's certainly the second option.
This is where you want a Chapman or someone to snare this from the boundary throw-in. Cracker did the snaring. Kicks the ball long. Mackie.
Thanks, Chris.
Now he's a long kick, and that's a probing kick to centre half forward. Collingwood, Wood doing the roving, only as far as Scarlett, who's had a couple of moments of genius tonight.
Forward of the wing. Sends it back inside the forward 50. Hawkins, unimpeded run at the ball. Bartel's in front, suddenly getting busy. And if he intended that, he is a genius.
You know, I'm not sure if he did, Janice. I think he put it on the outside of the boot. He saw Podsiadly going into the space there, Bartel. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. He's a really good use of the footy.
That is clever. Just saw the light glinting off his bald scalp. Popped it out in front. Jimmy Bartel getting busy then. Up to 7 possessions. Most of them in the last 5 minutes. Oh, Pods! Now, he's missed everything. He was kidding.
It is. They are making it hard for themselves on their goal scoring. It is hard down there. Then Podsiadly averages about 4 goals at Skilled Stadium, about 1 away from Geelong's home ground. That is a bad miss.
Goldsack, the look on his face said everything.
He's kicked 10 goals, Lee, in 8 matches at the MCG, so it goes at about 1 and a bit, but gee, that's a massive miss. I mean, we know how difficult it is, but that's about as easy a shot as you reckon you're going to get down that end. Wood belts it out wide. Dare I say, Lee, with this wind and the pressure, it's a lethal combination.
I'm feeling guilty too, because all the times I maligned Richo This ground is tricky.
It is tricky.
Are you doing a bit of retrospective tonight?
That's right, yes. Remorse code.
So Lonigan, Cats need a goal before half-time. They played well enough to get one. Ling, Bartel, again a quick kick. Stokes well played, 2v. Pendlebury, they've kept the hold on him, Pendlebury, tonight, but he shrugs off Wojcinski that time to Swan, who's been a very important player forward. Dawes couldn't quite. Back to Swan, belts it to about 45 metres. Menzel did well. He went into the back half against Port Adelaide and played a really good game. Ottens looks up, little gimme kick to Mackie. Can the Cats build here?
Mackie drives it down towards the attacking 50. One-on-one down there. Goldsack knocked it down in front. Buckley's been very good at mopping up down there. Across the front of goal. Couldn't get a game for Melbourne, Buckley. Well, he's going okay at the moment. Here's Harry. 3 bounces, Harry. Podsy Adderley being tested. Kept coming. Well done by the Pods. Off hands. That ball arrived quicker than Cloak thought too. Just jabbed across towards the boundary by Taylor. Bartel spots Chapman. Chapman lays it off to Ling. Ling 75 metres out over the head of Hawkins. And a good mark was taken by Reid. Nothing's easy down there in the swirling breeze. Reid going back and finding the footy to Pendlebury. Buckley again, and again deadly with the football, finds Swan. Swan looks to half forward. Brown, they come at it from both directions. Could have almost been hands in the back. Didak, what can he conjure here? Still Didak, knocked away brilliantly by Mackie.
Isn't the pressure of the wind and the pressure of Collingwood? We saw Geelong play last week. They were coming through the middle of the ground like that and just pinpointing their forwards. But tonight, much more difficult. They're not finding them at all.
Lee, that was the first score by anyone for 13 minutes.
Yeah,
that's how hard it's been. Good mark, Ottens. Had a good opening to him. Woods had a couple of moments.
Just been both sides, really. It's been like get the ball in the forward line and let the forwards fight for it. Neither side has set it up that well. It's just been kick it forward.
So Ottens slow kick, Johnson and Thomas, and then Goldsack. Didak trying to get involved. Ottens probably should have got the free there. Then Corey's handball. Asks a bit of the big guy, Ottens, and did he out on the full nut? Boundary throw. Bit clumsy, the big guy there, but he'd be tired.
Pays to be clumsy.
So 33-22, almost at half-time.
Geelong needing to hold here. Not for long. Half-time. What an interesting game of footy. A little bit of byplay there. Keep your eyes on this, Bruce. We could have an eruption. 5-3 to 2-10 then. And Collingwood kicking goals, accurate goals. At the start of that term. And then Geelong working back into it, but not getting any late goals. So despite their best efforts, it isn't reflected on the scoreboard just yet. Collingwood's bringing their step off the ground. The battle of the undefeateds. Let's go down to Tim Watson.
Well, Scotty, a much better second quarter.
Yeah, it was. We were able to control them a little bit more with their forward entries. I think they had 19 in that first quarter, so it's a good fight back.
And the tackling pressure went right up too.
Yeah, it was something really disappointing at quarter time. Not enough tackling pressure, and I think we made amends for it there.
How tricky is this wind?
Yeah, it is. It's really swirly out there, so you've got to be really precise with your kicking.
Thanks for your time. Pies by 11 points. Big second half coming up.
So out come the Cats then after the halftime break, and they trail by 11 points. Collingwood are 5-3, Geelong are 2-10. And now the Magpies as we head down to Tim Watson with Chris Scott.
Well, Scotty, is the tail of the first half one of wasted opportunities for you, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. But the good thing is our guys have got great skill level. They're good kicks for goal. They're just missing at the moment. That can easily turn around.
What do the numbers say at halftime for you?
Oh, well, I think we're winning the ball in a contest. We're getting it forward. You know, the ball's been up in our forward half. We've had our chances. I think to a large extent we've controlled the game. Just on the turnover, we've given up a few easy goals. We need to rectify that. But we think the game's in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, the scoreboard's not.
Against this mob, you really have to make your tackles stick. Have you been happy with that part of your game?
Oh, we've tackled superbly at times, but we've missed some crucial tackles. And they're not easy. Pendlebury and Swan, these guys, they're hard to nail. So, yeah, we need to improve that on occasion.
You're a good second half team. Good luck.
Thanks, Tim.
Tim Watson down there in the bowels of the MCG. Game high 17 possessions to Dale Thomas. He moved on to Selwood midway through that second term. Selwood has 16. 10 of those came in the first quarter. Buckley 15, Dane Swan 15. So everything to play for.
So matter of fact, Chris Scottley, just a question, I guess, without notice. Was he like that as a player? He just seems to answer his questions so honestly. And
well, he's like that as a person, yeah. I mean, as a player, he was out on the field. He had a bit of white line fever, I would say. But when he's as an off-field persona, which is what he is as a coach, he's very thoughtful, very analytical. And he is in his first year of coaching. In the first year of coaching, I said to Chris, is the most stress-free year you'll ever coach, because your total ownership doesn't really come to you sort of get into your second year. But he's really controlled.
It's interesting when you look at the numbers for Geelong. They've had 171 disposals at a kick-to-handball ratio of exactly 2-1, so clearly kicking the ball more. I think it's fair to say the overall skill level of the game from both sides has been down, but now as we see the rain start to fall...
But those basic numbers, the 34 entries, normally you'd have 15 shots at goal. Well, they've had 12, but normally you'd also kick 7 or 8 goals out of that, and they've only kicked 2, so... You know, they've kept Collingwood to 5 goals through. That's about the best you'd expect from the Geelong defensive mechanisms, but they just haven't been able to score from their own opportunities.
Cats need a bit more from Travis Varco. Just 3 possessions so far. As we take a look at the mega wall, who's where? Scarlett just waiting for somebody to come down his end. Joel Selwood playing his 100th game. He made his debut, Joel Selwood, against the Western Bulldogs, round 1 of 07. This Sunday, better remembered for Brad Johnson's 8 goals and a 20-point win by the Dogs. Come a long way since then. On the fast track.
We mentioned just before that the rain was just starting to fall. It's eased off a bit now, Lee. Do you think that favours either side?
Well, I think Geelong have always been a really good wet weather team in the recent few years. If it happened to get really wet, I think it suits them maybe even more than Collingwood.
Almost a cue there as we start the 3rd term at the MCG on Friday Night Football. Ottens directs it down. Joel Corey tackled by Thomas. Ball wedged between the pair.
Oh, okay, relax. Relax. Okay, stand up.
Just watching the defensive end for both grounds. Matthew Scarlett free for Geelong at this stage, and down the other end, it looks like Buckley, I think.
Well done by Ottens. Goes again, does the big guy, lays it off. Ling hurriedly down towards the attacking 50. Tarrant battles with Podsiadly. Coming across on the angle was Thomas. Tarrant smothered initially, goes after it again and soccers it across the boundary line. Great smother by Selwood.
And again, Geelong are pushing their smaller medium forwards up into the middle of the ground to help them in the stoppages, but Collingwood are going to have the 3-2 against forward of the footy for them.
Ball comes to the back. Ottens has a second crack at it. Oh, gee, Johnson
In danger.
Wasn't much percentage in what Jono tried to do there.
It's funny, he pulled off the kick, and Harry sort of pulled off because the ball was going to come to his face. That's quite bizarre.
So O'Brien back to Reid. What a fine defender Reid's become in the last season. Kicks the ball to Wellingham. Gee, good clever mark in the end, and then brought down to Wood. Well played to Tuvey. Tucks it under his arm and breaks the tackle of Chapman. Kicks to full forward. Swan built it away by Hunt, so Swan deep forward again. Didak and Varco both been pretty quiet. Didak injured early, has a bit of an excuse. Back to Tarrant. Over the top. Buckley's been good. He's the Lucy, as Tom talked about. Tarrant, that kicked so hard tonight. Chapman off the ground. Where will this fall? O'Brien charges like a racehorse and then belts it up in the air. Thomas waits. Gee, Brown just pushed Scarlett out of the way. Dawes, Scarlett, Swan. Swan gets it forward. Ling on the up, well played. Taylor, they kept their head. Mackie, well played Geelong.
Kelly's got it now. Breaks away from half-back, comes to half-forward. There's trouble for the Magpies, they do. Johnson, and they're all deep. He goes long down towards the opposite pocket. Bounces off the chest of Menzel. Varco, 25 metres out, gets the goal. Gee, they made hard work of that.
This quite an amazing game is that neither side looks like, with the conditions that they are, with the wind, that they can just string together nice passes to teammates. It is actually, every time a player tries to take possession or try and kick the footy, it's just going everywhere. That was just extra number. Geelong had the extra number forward.
You get the feel of the players know the conditions are really challenging and they're not backing themselves in to take the semi-risky option where actually it's been open quite often.
You can see the Geelong players getting forward, but even then they made hard work of it. I guess this was a good enough option for Menzel, but the kick took him away from goal. But again, it's just the breakout. The breakout of defence is the way the scoring's happening.
So first for the Cats in a half an hour. Collingwood have kicked the last 4 goals, 7 of the 8 goals tonight to the right of screen to the city end. Johnson, good tackle on O'Brien. Wellingham, Varco, that's going to lift Varco. Dennis mentioned how quiet he'd been in that first half. That might give him something. Kelly kicks the ball to about 55 metres. Davis has been impressive. Played really well. Controlled the leg. Ball belted out of the way. Wojcinski, can he run and break? Well, he runs and gets to Selwood. Good kick. Well inside. Now Johnson goes across the ground. Beautiful kick. Varco brings it down. Didak, Stokes, O'Brien, and then Harry squeezes to Cameron Wood, who'd made a good spoil a moment ago.
Wood from the defensive 50 then, side bottom. The moment passes for Geelong. Had a chance there. Not sure the option was Varco. Swan.
Here's Varco v Wood above their head. Wasn't going to advantage Varco.
Buckley. Liked his game. Kicks it down towards half forward. Well, held a long time, did Cloak. No free kick taken by Wood. A lot of pulling of the arm out there. Cloak running to a dead end. Held a long time. He's going to get the free kick. Grade 150. The ball has gone a long way from the incident, and now 50 imposed by umpire Chamberlain.
No prior opportunity, so he gets a reasonable time to dispose, and he did so. In that instance, he's tackled, holding the man, and then 2 disposals. That's unfair, yeah. Thank you, Rove.
No doubting the kick,
That's
but,
unfair.
well, there is some doubting the kick.
Get a really good insight into how difficult it actually is to kick a goal down this end. Typical Still Knight would be a good chance from here.
Powerful kick, Cloak, and I think he'll just kick through it hard.
Tackler thought Cloak still had the footy, and he makes them pay, or does the umpire goes a fair way, but it's good.
There's a slight bit of good fortune. The more the good fortune with the 50-metre penalty, I think. Certainly the tackle was held too long, so that's a fair enough free kick. But just unfortunately, Bartel, not being aware of what was going on, just kicked the ball quickly, and all of a sudden a free kick becomes a goal from 80 metres out, basically.
Big crowd on a very cold night, a bit of rain, probably over 70,000. He averages 2 goals, Cloak, against Geelong, 18 in 9 before tonight. He's kept the average up with a very important goal, his second for the evening. Pendlebury to Thomas. So good, both of them, particularly Thomas tonight. Free kick. Cloak just getting into Wojcinski's back. Goes short to Scarlett.
Play on.
And then Scarlett quickly on. Now Podsiadly the target. Johnson lurking. Well done, Tarrant. Still lurking Johnson. Then Stokes. Back turn clever. Gets it to Stevie J. He's got Harry O'Brien. Good tackle.
Great exponent of the tackle there by Harry O'Brien. Just stayed off. Didn't overcommit. Held his ground and pinged the arm. Textbook tackle.
High ball towards the wing then. Stepping between a pair of Cats was Cloak. Moves at about 10 metres. Wojcinski. Bartel. Now there's a man down behind play. Ling may have hit his shoulder. Meantime, Duncan goes towards the pocket. Coming up on the lead down there, Menzel, and the ball is out of bounds. Doesn't look good for Cameron Ling.
Looks like a bad injury, doesn't it? Whether it's popped a shoulder or something of that ilk.
Oh, just the left shoulder there.
Yes. One of those you don't want to see twice. Shaw Drives it up towards the wing. It's 3-on-2. The three need to get cracking here. Hawkins didn't supply too much in the way of a shepherd. He tried. Forced forward by Scarlett. Eventually it's Chapman who kicks it up to the wing, and a nice mark is taken by Wojcinski as Ling comes off.
Guys, just wait till it's clear. Just get him off the ground. Just get him off the ground.
He was writhing in pain, Ling. He wasn't. He was on the ground there. He looks ashen-faced, doesn't he? And that's a terrible kick. And they're a bit stiff there, Geelong, because they were away actually with the handball. So Ling straight down to the rooms.
So we've seen more missed kicks tonight than you normally see in a month of footy.
So Christensen getting ready to come on the sub. So
the jacket's been taken off straight away.
Gee, there's that. Oh, clever at the back. Did Wojcinski get his hands on it? No. So Cracker. It's very rare you see an evening like it with the ball's almost uncontrollable. Cracker, that's a good kick down the line. Taylor. Back to Dawes. Cloak. Those 2 goals invaluable from Cloak. Boundary thrown down to you, Tim.
Well, he's in real pain then, Cameron Ling. He will not take any further part in this game. As you can see there, Christensen's already taken off the red vest. He was in such pain and distress that he couldn't even pick himself up off the ground, Cameron Ling. He actually had to be lifted to his feet.
Margin 11 points. Intriguing time in this game then. Pivotal. Out of defence, Enright to midfield. Davis peels off though. He's got the pace. Davis inside the centre square. Long kick. Mackie goes back. Got hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Falls in front. Swan quick hands. Cloak across the body. Half smothered. Ricochets about 10 metres. Taken now by Lonigan. Upended. Comes back to Swan. Kicks it through the pack. Comes to Pendlebury. It hit somebody in the pack. It was hard to gather. Pendlebury got it and kicks a goal.
She's a poor handball in the back half there by the Cats. It was
a fantastic tackle, wasn't really on. I think it was Duncan. It was Brown. I think he just got hold. Bigger man got hold of the lighter player. Absolutely nailed him in the tackle. That created the bad turnover.
Gee, his combativeness in the forward half's been so important, Swan.
Just see the goal here caused by a turnover. Dane Swan so dangerous forward, but I reckon there's a real turning point here with Cameron Ling obviously going off, substituted out. Mick Malthouse responding now by putting Dane Swan right into the middle of the ground to provide that forward movement from the centre.
Well, he's had an impact forward, hasn't he? Cats need to respond here. Selwood's long bomb. Chapman falls over.
I think I mentioned early in the call, just when we saw the interchange bench before, it had Altons and Lonigan. They just keep having to have a big player on the bench, Geelong, which is really going to affect the running power of their small mediums that are on field.
Blair hasn't really got off the leash tonight, has he? Short kick to Johnson. Goes back inside. Kelly off a step. Collingwood's got all the numbers. Reid takes the mark. Geelong finding it hard here.
Whoa. Aided by that kick, Bartel is marked about 45 metres out from goal. Now Jimmy doesn't kick too many goals. 6 for the season. His most productive year. How about that?
He normally is one of the more reliable set shots at goal, even from long distance. He's usually got a beautiful technique.
He got 22 in 08 this season. Kicks from the 50. That is textbook. Beautiful. Jimmy Bartel puts it through. They stay in touch.
So Bartel accurate from long range. And Geelong keep the pressure on Collingwood by 10 points. Cats with the scoring in, you would think for sure. Hawkins went really early. These centre clearances so vital. And Swan wins this one. Enright, Didak, Bartel, Dawes. Enright off the ground, conceding, chases his own ball. Didak with him. Enright sweeps the handball. Goldsack cuts it off. Cleverly done. Swan brilliant. Thomas well done. Plays it hard. Kicks to full forward. Scarlett gets back. She's played well. It's 50.
50.
Scarlett again setting himself up as the loose man behind the play.
Had a good match, Scarlett.
Lee Brown's his direct opponent.
Kicks the ball long to centre half forward.
tailor-made for sure. Too easy. This defence is terrific for Collingwood. Towards the outer side, Didak, the defensive side of the wing. He just pop it over the top to side bottom. He does. Well, Ling seems to be better. A bit of a smile there, so that's good news. Heard what Tim had to say about the agony he was in. Not Tim, Ling.
Hold on.
Stay with this. Swan's got the ball, the defensive side of centre wing.
Collingwood have got Travis Cloak pretty much unmanned. Tom Lonergan now coming to him in his forward 50. Harry Taylor is actually on the bench at the moment.
Reed's going to get a free kick. Menzel argues the point. Now, the umpire decides there was no advantage there, and that's tough on Geelong.
It's only advantage if a teammate takes it. So we're ahead of the mark, so we've got to come back, mate.
I think that's a good explanation. We all know what that was all about.
Oh, it's too good for me. It killed me. There goes Reed. Cross to midfield, taken by Swan. He's away. Love it when he runs. He kicks inside the forward 50. Going back with the flat of it, Pendlebury. Behind the play, Corey. He was slung. Picked up by Thomas. Tackled by Scarlett. Chance for Cracker deep in the pocket. Throws it on the boot. Pulls it back. And the mark is taken by Hunt. The disciplined thing to do, but Hunt was there. No Collingwood player near the footy. Hawkins needs a mark. My goodness, he's taken it. Well done by Tom Hawkins. Looks to the middle. Here's a real chance for them. Enright. Moving to him as Chapman play-on's the call. A lot of Collingwood players up ahead, though. The moment has passed, at least for now. Joel Corey on the overlap. Menzel launches himself. Loose ball at the back. Whipped away by Shaw, taken by Davis.
Geelong having trouble getting a contest even in the forward 50 at the moment. Goldsax kicks a good one. Pendlebury.
They're having trouble with midfield spread too. Good at the stoppages, but no good really when they're spreading out from defence.
O'Brien, good-looking kick. Wellingham.
Chop of the arms. The good result for Collingwood is one-on-one contest in their forward 50 on that occasion.
Not a heap in it, but you whacked his arm.
Yes, they're kicking the ball long with their forward line, Geelong, but the Collingwood defence is fairly much on control. It's mainly because when they need to spread to give the halfbacks options, Geelong, they don't seem to be doing that terribly well.
Well, this has been a very difficult kick all night from that pocket. Keeps it low. Dawes, Ottens. Hunt, Cracker was lurking, Wojcinski, Duncan, they run it out, Varco, and then Varco's wobbly kick, Collingwood with all the numbers.
Must get a result for the Pies.
Davis, Goldsack, gets around Johnson, but doesn't get it very far. Duncan in the back half.
Well done by Stevie J there, affected the kick. So Duncan, the boy from East Perth, right half back.
Not prepared to spread.
10 points the difference. Wood had it knocked away by Johnson, who goes on to lay a tackle on Goldsack, and the umpire calls for it.
Both defences at the moment are able to get that extra person back, it seems, in most circumstances, but what you need to do is obviously repel the other way. On that last occasion, Goldsack had the opportunity to have a clean break from halfback, but turned the ball over.
So can the Cats get it away from this stoppage? They're outnumbered inside the 50. 3 on 2. It's not going that way anyway. Cracker cannoned into. Ball came loose. Varco gave it to Corey. Sends it towards full forward. Spectacular leap down there. Hawkins. Man down. Not sure who that is. It might be Swan, is it? Coming away with the football.
Tuvey, I think.
Pendlebury close to the boundary line. Or this will be line ball. No, the mark to stand. Getting up very gingerly. It is Tuvey. Wow.
I like that. Take a bit of a risk. It was a risky kick in between 3 Cats, but paid off.
Side bottom. Runs it up. Gets a hand past the ball. Haven't called his name too often, but that's a delicate kick. Swan's okay. He plays on, and he's missed to the right-hand side. It will run on and just hit the behind post.
You know, we're halfway through the third quarter. I don't think players got any idea where to aim to that left of camera end. They just, that is attacking the footy in the air.
So Ottens, well done. Cloak. It's a post.
That from Tuvey is exactly, and he's still down in a bit of trouble here. That's exactly why Mick Malthouse rates him so highly, and he's rated so highly internally. Did not flinch one iota. Don't want to see players injured like that. Just a hugely courageous effort.
You think in this situation they'd call for the stretcher, but I guess it's almost a last resort these days.
Well, he copped a knee in the jaw, and then his jaw hit the ground as he came down from a height.
He looked like he was convulsing there, didn't he?
Yeah,
so Geelong through the centre, but they're going to have to stop it here.
possession, you get the keeper. I know. We've got to look after that injured player. The ball's going in that vicinity.
Well umpired.
Hey, Chris. Oh, sorry, buddy. I was going to say sorry.
So Alan...
That's a heavy contact from the big man.
You might remember this. I should remember playing in a game when Sean Hart suffered a similar incident.
The old, unfortunately, friendly fire. Daniel Bradshaw actually was his teammate, and he just got caught in the wrong spot. Yeah, it could be teammate or it could be opponent. When a big man is running at the ball and jumping at it in the air, the player who's caught under the footy can be in the very bad spot.
It's a great example when people question the hardness of the game and how the players go. That is as brave as you get.
Oh, absolutely.
And in this day and age of so much media exposure, I'm sure players go into a situation where they put themselves in those positions because they feel they don't want to be embarrassed on the national stage. And that I mean, you wouldn't wish to put anyone in a position like that.
No doubt. I think when you've watched footy for a long time, the extreme brave of previous generations is now average brave. Every player puts himself on the line every time.
Very similar to something that happened to young Slattery on an Anzac Day. In about the same spot, actually. Remember that? Too much courage for his own good going back, and forget who cleaned him up, but he copped a knee in the head as well.
Joel Selwood, of course, in round 1 here on a Friday night. A different incident to that, but...
Down in that pocket, Bruce. Exactly. That's not the place to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's very unfortunate for young Tuvey, but from Geelong's point of view, that's exactly the way they need Hawkins to attack the ball in the air. To just put his eyes on it and put every part of his 110k frame at the footy.
He did nothing wrong. No. Sometimes, though, when you're competing for the footy, you don't expect extreme bravery, do you? Well, I suppose we've come to expect it.
Yeah, it is pretty much what I mean. I think players have put themselves in those positions just all the time, and sometimes you can be very unlucky and cop a really bad one.
Have you ever been surprised, though, Lee? I mean, doing something on the footy field and what another guy did actually surprise you, just how fearless he was?
Oh, well, I remember once here at the MCG, Jonathan Brown against Hawthorn ran back about 30 metres with the fly to the footy and just jumped into a pack chest first.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe I saw that. This was just really a player standing under the footy, knew he had to back a little bit, just hopes there's not too much of a train coming the other way.
If you turn around, Dennis, you'll see Nick Riewoldt. He did something similar to the Sydney Cricket Ground, didn't he?
He did.
Yep.
So, Tim, you're a bit closer than us. They put the neck brace on Alan Tuvey as he comes from the ground.
Well, they spent a lot of time over Alan Tuvey. Then even before the umpire halted play, there was 3 medical officers from the Pies out there attending him. But the other thing about the game is now that Tuvey was doing a really good job on Chapman, so that may free Chapman up in this game too. Dick obviously is a substitute player, but he's not going to go down there and play as a defender, so they have to reconstruct their back 6.
That was interesting. They weren't going to call the stretcher until the ball came into the area. I thought they sort of, as soon as they know we're going to have to take a player off, the signal happens.
So Brad Dick's on the ground. So both subs in the last 10 minutes have come on for pretty big injuries.
You often see that they've had plenty of time to set something up here, Geelong. They might actually try and structure up a bit of a set play.
And so Johnson's kick to about 45 metres. Thomas running hard. What a second quarter he played tonight, Daisy, when he went to Selwood, and certainly was a match for him.
That 10 minutes really turned the game back to Collingwood's way when Geelong had that ascendancy. That was a fantastic 10 minutes.
Boundary throw in just inside the attacking 50 then, reaching over the top. Otten's down to Selwood. Couldn't find a way through. Comes to Blair. Selwood again. What a game he's played. Flips it over the top. Taken by Hunt. He was down into the arms of Didak, though. Stolen away by Goldsack to midfield. Scarlett leads in the race. Heard the voice. Came over the top. Harry's got a bit of a problem to control it. Kept going, though. Well played by Taylor. Christensen running out of space right on the boundary line. Scarlett runs on. Well worked by the Cats. Eventually Stokes gets a boot to ball. Sends it down towards the attacking 50. The 220s there. Reid and Johnson. Neither one able to take the mark. As a result, the beneficiary was Goldsack, and he comes across to Swan.
It's interesting, we've got the 2 substitutes out now, Christensen and Dick. Hasn't been a free-flowing game, so you'd reckon the energy levels won't be so important for the substitute as the game pans out.
And Tom, they battled for the 1 ball a moment ago, didn't they? As that first come out, Dawes Dawes couldn't quite break through. Mackie in dispute. Scarlett. Oh, Swan's pickup was really good there. He is so hard to take off the ball. Brilliantly played, Swan. Gets it to Wellingham, to Didak. Didak on the right foot, kicks to the half-forward flank. Cloak turns his man, gets some space, kicks to a dangerous spot and hits the post.
He cannot get it online at that end.
But he's the danger big forward, isn't he? He's the danger man.
He's the one tonight that's looked the most dangerous by a big margin.
Yeah. Dawes barely sighted. Here's Kelly out of the back pocket. Wojcinski is at right half back. Margin 12 points. Still quite manageable. No scoring affair though. Bartel. Adley went to ground. Bounced off his chest. Comes back. Applies a strong tackle on Tarrant. Bartel gave it across to Wojcinski. Long kick down towards half forward. Geez, a good player. Heath Shaw, he was a star from the time he arrived in the league. That was a terrific mark. Goes short and finds Buckley. Heath Shaw polled 1 Brownlow vote in his 7th game and 3 votes in his 13th. Tells you something about him. He hasn't looked back since. Buckley to the wing. Off hands. Ball is claimed by Bartel. And the ball spills out of bounds. Dick had it momentarily.
Might be a good opportunity for Brad Dick. You just see him on screen. As I mentioned before, the game has been very stop-start. He has that uncanny ability to break lines. Be interested to see how he works his way around the stoppages.
Lock of the arm! Hawkins! Didn't take the advantage. Lock of the arm.
Doesn't have a lot of look of the round 1 game when Geelong played St Kilda when it was a really low-scoring game. It's like most of the goals are coming almost from broken play or turnovers. Setting up a goal with a flow of possessions is been virtually impossible. Neither side's done that.
Gee, Collingwood have got. I mean, he's gone back 50 metres, Hawkins, and still there was no option. They'd covered all the spread, Collingwood, in a hurry.
Watching on screen, the conditions look absolutely perfect, but actually down at ground level, we've commented a couple of times, really swirly breeze, and the players just aren't adapting to the school level.
Good kick, Christensen finds Hawkins. So Hawkins had a couple of touches in this quarter. Can he get it in long? That's the idea now. Oh, that's interesting. Bartel goes to ground. No free kick. O'Brien in there. Menzel down low. Still Menzel and Bartel. Over the ball, I think Varco. Shaw tries to take it. Side bottom, Podsiadly.
That was the rugby scrum, wasn't it?
He tackled 2 of them, the Pods.
Ball just fell hand to hand. Tried to draw the free kick. Didn't quite succeed.
Must have been on the cusp. Hasn't had a big night, Bartel, but he had a big 5 or 10 minutes there in that second term. Kick from Joel Corey goes out of bounds on the full. As I said earlier, Joel Corey doesn't kick too many goals. He's kicked 12 with his last 54 games, all of them singles. 66 career goals, but never more than 2. He likes to drip feed himself out of defence. The kick comes from Swan. From behind, big leap by Hawkins. Unrealistic. It certainly was.
Tonight it's probably realistic because no one knows where
the ball could drop anyway. You're right, Lee.
They're not knowing where the fall of the ball is tonight.
Good call, I think, Lee. So ground, good mark in the front end, right.
And in front.
Cats have got to do something on the board here. They've had a bit of the play. You feel like they're just slightly on top right now in the field play, but they must at least get up level, you'd think, at 3/4 time. Scarlett's dangerous kick. Can Johnson take advantage? He gets rid of Shaw. G play well there. Stevie J gets to Chapman. Chapman out wide. Now Mackie can kick a long ball. Has he got a target? Can he find a man inside 50? Goes deep to the pocket. Duncan's marked it.
It's that little hole in the zone. No one really goes and zones up 5 metres from the boundary line in the forward pocket, and every now and again that's the only option to go uncontested.
Stokes is the pop-up sprinkler in the first quarter that came out from the exact same position.
Well, he was 4 for 4 set shots before tonight. He missed a lot at the other end. This is an easier kick, you'd think, than the previous one, but still a tough shot. It will be a cross.
In the back, Chris Tarrant.
So it's a free kick to Collingwood.
Keep coming.
The one thing that Geelong don't seem to be able to do, I know the swirly breeze and all that and Collingwood's pressure, but they don't want to change it from one side of the field to the other. Sort of take the half chance to get the ball to the open side. They've got players out there, but been a bit conservative with their ball movement at times.
Approaching 3/4 time. Taylor from behind, knocked down in front. Brown advances at about 10 metres. Selwood, ball right there with him. That's a duel. And the ball goes out of bounds.
It might be the amateur to goalie. I think you're right, because Collingwood will typically play in the traffic line around the boundary. Obviously, the other side of the ground's where it's opened up.
Selwood through the pack, didn't take the ball with him. Thomas did in the opposite direction. Taken high. Luke Ball gets the free.
Other way,
no, the other way.
The umpires have been very conscious of that this year. The player with the ball fending off with the bit of high contact as a tackler comes at him.
So, good call for the Cats. Joel Corey, centering kick. Surrounded is Selwood. Not a bad option, nevertheless. Punched away from him. They're very conscious of him. Mackey's kick, half smothered. Didak, he was waiting for the tackle. Bit of talent there, Johnson and Didak. Quick hand pass from Stokes. They get it through. He got it back from Hawkins and he misses.
She played it well, Stokes. So did Johnson, didn't he?
Oh, played exceptionally well. Great tackle and the ability to bounce straight up and the look away hand pass.
It's like Harry Houdini taking on his great rival there, wasn't it, Johnson and Didak?
Yes. His alter ego.
So Goldsack has a victory against Scarlett and a 50-metre penalty.
I'd like to see a bit more urgency now with the ball, because all the opposition players are pushed right up. That's better. Drive forward with a bit of speed.
He kicks the ball to about 40 metres. Enright takes a good mark. He missed one in the opening turn, but he's made up for it. Johnson's been so productive. Selwood to Johnson. Just wish you could get him into more scoring opportunities, Johnson. They can't find a goal scorer at the moment. Bartel worked under it brilliantly by O'Brien. Podsiadly drops it down. No free kick. Kelly out wide. Stokes won't get their boundary throw-in. They need a goal, the Cats, before three-quarter time.
They've only kicked 2 goals, 3 since quarter time. So in 2 quarters of football, 2 goals, 3. So they're certainly in the game. Collingwood certainly haven't been hitting the scoreboard with big numbers, but they need a goal urgently.
Just watching them, you can almost sense their frustration. Corey loops a hand pass over the top. They came from everywhere. Down goes Shaw. Makes an attempt at a ball up. They just stayed off him long enough for the ball to arrive, and then they nabbed it.
Got Hawkins and Reid forward of the footy for Geelong. Hawkins has to be ready for the quick kick forward, because that's the only kick that's going to come.
Up high, Joel Corey loves that situation. 3rd man up. Well, that time I think he was the only one up. Everyone else grounded. Boundary throw in. 47-36, dying seconds of the 3rd term. Still everything to play for on Friday night football. The 2 undefeated sides. As Bill Christensen taken high, he'll get the free within scoring range.
Just here it is. Thank you.
Can't bear to look.
Sometimes you just got to tack the ball 100 miles an hour and just see if the tackler will, as it was, a little bit high. If you go at it hard enough, twist the body, drop the knees, every now and again that tackle will go high.
Ultimate tag, the sub on the sub. Christensen's kick. I think he's got it. He has. He puts it through. Margin just 5 points.
Lee hit the nail on the head. It was just attacking the ball. It was a clearance, a boundary, a bowler hit the ball with speed, and you just draw the free kick almost.
Drop into the high tackle.
And it came through with real speed. Really important goal. Goes without saying. Young player just drives it in low and hard. Summed it up really well. Knew what the breeze was doing. Kept it low. Punched as hard as he could.
A lot of his more experienced teammates have actually been missing much easier shots than that one.
Geelong 48 inside 50s to 33 Collingwood. Yet the scoreboard's almost the opposite, isn't it?
Yeah. For 5 goals, though, I mean, that's just an incredibly low number.
What a handy goal, though. Just on three-quarter time. You feel like Geelong have got a little bit of momentum coming into the final term. Both these teams terrific last quarter experts in this season. Davis out of the centre. So Collingwood lead it by 5 points. In the big match on Friday night, it's 42 the Cats, 47 the Pies.
games go, it's a bit of an ugly duckling, but you've got to say it's living up to its billing. The top two sides going at it, and just 5 points the margin here at three-quarter time. Collingwood on top, 7-5 to 5-12. Let's go down to the boundary now. Tim Watson is with Geelong's Matty Lappin.
Well, Matty, it's been a great contest. You're the forward line coach. What were you saying to the players a moment ago?
Yeah, I just spoke to them about how in the second quarter we were able to put 4 goals on them by getting them up the ground and then turning them around. We think there's a little bit of wind going that direction this quarter, so we're hoping to use that to our advantage and hopefully run onto a few balls over the back.
How many goals do you think you'll have to kick in this last quarter?
Probably 4 or 5, I think, mate. So, it's been a really good contest, and, our last quarter's been our best all year, so we're hoping we can finish off well again.
Selwood was devastating early until Thomas went on to him. He's been terrific, Thomas.
Yeah, look, he goes 100 miles an hour at the footy and the man, so he's played a really good role for the boys.
Thanks for your time.
On your Tim alongside Luke Hodge now. And Luke, real battle of defences, old-time football in many respects. Both these defences prepared to bend but not break.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that's what Chris Scott has brought to Geelong, their defensive attitude. And as you see, that's why we've had such a tussle tonight.
And Swanee got under our guard again in that term. How many possessions?
Yeah, he finished up. He had 20 out up to three-quarter time after a slow start. He had 5 at quarter time.
He's amazing, isn't he? So who do you like from here?
I reckon after having the week off, I reckon Collingwood just might have the legs to get over the top.
OK, we'll hold you to that. Let's go to Bruce then for the final term on Friday Night Football. Collingwood up by 5 points.
Last quarter's Collingwood 38 goals to 14 this season, and Geelong 21 goals to 10.
Well, neither side's lost the last quarter, so they've both been strong finishing teams. As I said through the quarter a couple of times, Geelong have often had big guys on the bench, so I'd be interested whether their midfield has had enough rest to run the game out as strongly as Collingwood.
Biggest roar of the night to start the last quarter on Friday night. Went through Thomas. Chapman's toe poke. O'Brien. Still with Harry, pushed over, and now Besiege, and then he flicks it back. Joel Corey kicks the ball to 35 metres. He sure takes a good mark.
The forward should read it off his teammates' boot better, but he sure does it better than the forwards.
Buckley's been a good contributor. No Johnson or Maxwell, of course, tonight from Collingwood. Buckley, dangerous kick. Can Ottens make a contest? He does. Johnson improvising. Scarlett's good at improvising. Drops it. Free kick.
Sean, he dropped it. It's a throw. Illegal ball, played out of zone. Lee Brown knows it. Yep, Lee Brown, your kick. Holding the ball, played out of zone. No. Yours here.
So back to the anvil. It's had a quiet night, Brown. Kicked a goal early.
Got equal numbers forward here, Colin. Gives them a chance.
Just saw there Steve Johnson, the first set of bounce, really crash into Dale Thomas. Looked a bit proppy.
Gienright took Cloak's run there. Doesn't get it out far. Thomas not far enough. Kicks to Swan. He just builds a game, Swan. He can start slowly. We see it so often, and then just builds and builds.
Amazing stat about Dane Swan. He was at three-quarter time. He'd played 88 minutes of a possible 91. Obviously spending a lot of time forward, so just a remarkable player.
And he's got a lot of ball inside the forward 50 for Collingwood tonight. And that kick right to the goal line, and I think it's a behind before Ottens could take the mark. So Collingwood stretched their lead to a 1 kick. 7-6 to 5-12.
Is he still the engine room lead for the middle of the ground, Dane Swan, if you want to win the game?
Well, no, at the moment, I think trying to kick some goals, and he's one who looks like he might.
Great mark by the Pods. Inside to Hunt. Hunt misses the target. Stokes sweeps on it. Gives it to Corey. Bad handball. Chapman on hands and knees. Out wide to Christensen. He was a good sub. He came on and kicked a goal. Switches it wide to Scarlett. Corey short. Scarlett honours the lead. So Joel Corey from 55. Impossible to score from this pocket tonight. Your goal here is just what the Cats need. They're a goal behind. He kicks it low. Tarrant front spot. Varco couldn't quite. Buckley's been good. Well played side bottom. Gets it to Blair.
Just short of the wing. Over the top came Taylor. Knocked by Brown towards the boundary. Taylor there again, though. Slips the hand pass to Corey. Corey about 80 metres from goal. Spears it along the boundary line. Well done by Sidebottom. Stayed on his feet. Couldn't control it, though. Stokes, something out of nothing. Off the bit of Menzel on the bounce across the boundary line. Tossed in. Ottens reaches over Wood. Down goes Chapman. Umpire calls for it.
You'd love Potts to take one of those in the goal square, wouldn't you?
Yes, that's what they need. Well, he didn't. He didn't take one of those, but he had the shot from 15 metres out. They need one of their forwards to do something a bit special.
Ottens wins a tap. Corey's had a good start to this quarter. Thomas. Still Thomas. Now boundary throw in.
Thanks.
Bit of bar play there. Threatened to throw the ball in his face.
You build reputations, Tom, in big matches. Varco tonight's been subdued. A big last quarter would be important for him. You feel like he's one with fresh legs that could make a difference. Ottens. Chapman high. Free kick.
High tackle. First tackle was high.
Who's the best at drawing the free, Selwood or Chapman, your former team?
Well, I mean, the cynics will say they draw the free, but the one thing they have in common is they drive at the footy so hard.
Can't score, you wouldn't think, could he, from here, Chappie?
Now, even him, he's a big, long kick of the footy. This would be special if he could actually nail this from this far out.
So Chapman steps to the 50. Kick is on the way. Has it got the carry? Not quite. Tarrant high above the pack. Fisted back across the line. Good kick, though.
Always risky business, that defensive spoil, when you go with the flight of the ball to try and punch it through. Made good contact. Good result.
Sometimes you follow it back across the line without touching it.
Exactly right.
Ball to midfield. Dick's got it now. Collingwood on the move. Two little guys combined. Three of them. Cracker got it from Blair. Open goal. Gets it on the run. Collingwood go coast to coast.
We saw Brad Dick involved in that passage of play. That was actually his first disposal since being activated as a sub. The other sub for Geelong's obviously Christensen, who's had the 4 possessions and kicked a goal. So important touch there from Brad Dick. Just the importance of absolute coast to coast. And a great finish. Just kept the ball low, I think, particularly down to the right hand side of the screen. That seems to be the best way to get it through.
All came from this attacking kick-in. When it came to the centre corridor, then all of a sudden the Geelong zone gets caught forward of the footy. Collingwood outnumbered them as long straight down the centre corridor. Great goal.
The 3 little guys at the end combining, weren't they? So Geelong with it all to do again. Corey's kick, bouncing ball, short. Chance here for Stokes. Stokes goes to ground. Can he get a handball out? Not quite. Well played. Davis just got in the road. Belts it out wide. Sidebottom and Christensen. Sidebottom did well. Buckley's been important as he was a moment ago. Gets away from Enright. Thomas. Cracker. Well tackled by Bartel. Too high. Cracker keeps up this amazing record. 109 games now for 109 goals. That single goal in this last quarter, keeping it at 1 apiece.
Buckley coming up for his 24th possession. Sends it back to Davis. Said it earlier in the game. Collingwood very happy to have the ball in Buckley's hands. He uses it so well. Ditter, here we go again. Not his best.
By foot.
Side bottom. Drives it down towards half forward. Cloak. Giant strides at the footy. The only man who really backed himself in. That was imposing. Cloak. From left half forward, long towards full forward. Back goes Mackie, takes the mark. He was assisted by Lonigan, using his body on Dawes and keeping him out of the contest. Selwood's got the football now. Precisely puts it across to Duncan. Duncan back towards Selwood and or a teammate there coming across on the angle. It was Johnson. Selwood runs on yet again. Wonderful by Selwood. Free kick is going to Stokes.
Thank you. Time back on.
So Stokes right on the 50. Centering ball. Varco claiming he was held, nothing doing. Davis didn't wait. Backed himself, peeled off, gives it to Pendlebury. Shakes free of the tackle. Willingham's kick not good. Taylor, Kelly. Back come Geelong yet again, but they're losing these one-on-ones. Side bottom did brilliantly. Sliding in there, Christensen. On his knees to his feet. Brilliant stuff. Gives it across towards Wojcinski. Kicks it straight up in the air. Bartel and Buckley. Not sure either one of them touched it. It bounces through for a behind.
They're having trouble lowering their eyes going forward, Geelong, aren't they? When they're just sort of really just blasting it in. Not really looking for the guy in short.
The last Collingwood goal came from a really long kick through the middle for Collingwood. So will they bring it back through the guts again?
It's downfield, it's a high tackle. On the full quickly, Chappie.
Undisciplined by Geelong because they had the numbers there. Just their decision making is being really tested here, the Cats, with the ball in hand and also on the tackle. Bartel a moment ago had Cracker cold, couldn't put a legitimate tackle, and again there. So side bottom, Mackie. Just pleased he took that strong mark a moment ago, made up for one earlier in the match. Enright bangs it back. Johnson played it well, but then goes to ground. Thomas, next goal will tell a tale in this match. If Collingwood get it, you reckon they're home. Geelong need to get it. They're pressing. Side bottom. Mackie doesn't take it. Christensen, they've got all the numbers, Geelong. Mackie overruns it. And then Selwood gets his body behind the ball. And Shaw rides him into the ground.
Initially a great tackle from Shaw, but then just came over the top and was deemed to be in the back.
They'll look to get it to the other side of the field here. This is their problem. They might get the first one. They've got players out the other side if they can get out there.
Here's Taylor. Little chip pass, short. Ball did well. Stepped in front of the oncoming Kelly. Just seems right now Collingwood have got all the answers.
As you mentioned earlier, Dennis, they're just winning the contests in their back half.
Out, take a check.
Their game has been built on defence tonight. Pendlebury does the full 360 and then comes to the boundary, and the mark is taken by Wellingham. He fooled him. Wellingham at the interchange gates goes for distance then. Duncan stays out of the contest. Going back is Harry Taylor. So Taylor on the defensive 50. And they will gather from the back again. They'll try the other side this time. Scarlett needs to kick it to Bartel. Well, he goes short. Mackie's got it. Bartel is on, though. Any way will do. Bounces it out to Bartel. Needs it to stay in, Bartel. Just kept it in, but then the cavalry arrive for Collingwood. Dick, tackled by Bartel. Goldsack gets away, looking like Elliot Gould. He kicks it down towards full forward. From behind, it's punched away by Taylor. In front, Didak. Unkind bounce. Hitting the pack hard, Mackie. Taken down by Didak. Taken away by Chapman. Chapman gets it across to Selwood. Selwood to Bartel. Bartel thinks about going. Lays the ball over the top to Joel Corey.
Great call, Dennis. Corey to Johnson. Under pressure. Back to Corey. Back to Bartel. Bartel off a step. Gets a lot of distance with a spiral. Bouncing ball. Reed. Collingwood with all the numbers. And then Shaw. Now this is a big one-on-one. Swan's normally pretty good. Well played, Menzel. He's had a win there. And then goes with a long one to full forward. Great mark. Selwood. Menzel plays on goal. Cats are still in it. What a play by Menzel.
Yes, I think when you see Dane Swan in a one-on-one contest with any player, Menzel had the front position, but G played it strong.
God, Selwood was good too.
Kevin Sheedy in the 1974 grand final for those with long memories.
Just have a look at this contest here. Every now and again in a young career, there's a moment which you arrive, and that's a fantastic one-on-one win. He'll remember that and build a lot of confidence. And then let's not underestimate the marquee contested mark by Joel Selwood.
Well, Menzel, his footy hero was Mark Rasciuto. Rue would have been proud of that one. Ball comes out wide to Corey. Joel Corey's away. Searching kick inside the forward 50. Pottielli! He's taken the mark. 25 metres out, 45-degree angle. But if my memory serves me correctly, he was about here when he got the ball to go at right angles, about 5 metres wide of the behind post to his right-hand side.
Just watch the work off the ball here by Brad Ottens, it is.
Yeah, just held him down.
Keeping Reid off the play.
Most players or most teams can be more accurate later in games because they've worked out what's going on with the wind. Let's see if he has.
Margin 4 points, the closest they've been since the 15-minute mark of the second quarter. Make that 3 points. Oh, coming up for a big finish now. It's like being on Deal or No Deal, and we're down to 2 suitcases.
He's had some shots, Pods. He's had 3 shots, no goal.
Pressing up here, Geelong. They're just going to cover the centre corridor, make sure Collingwood can't get out easily like they did with Goldsack that from before.
So Davis will try and get it as far as possible. Brings it back in. Hawkins worked underneath by Wood. Kelly running hard, kicking long to fall forward, and belted through by Reid. They're getting more distance, you feel, to the left than they were earlier tonight.
Yeah, maybe the wind's fade a little bit, but as I say, players, you get to know the wind during the game.
And
think back to react to it much
Chapman's
better.
kick early in this quarter, that wouldn't have gone all that way in the first term.
Buckley entrusted with bringing it back in.
Straight to Bartel.
Bartel juggles the mark 60 metres out from goal. Geelong are pressing again. Just chips it over the top. Man in space. Wojcinski couldn't hang on. Well done by Ball. Well done by Chapman. Threw himself across the boot. Ball head down. Taking in front on is Corey. Still in there is Ball. Corey goes hard at him. Chapman tries to burrow out. Well done, Cracker. Throws it on the boot. Sends it to the outer side. Reaching over the top was Taylor. 2-on-1. And 2 very good players for Geelong. Scarlett emerges with it. Back inside the 50. And Bartel, a little theatrical after the mark, will line up at goal from 40 metres out. We've said it many times tonight. This is not easy.
Great technique from Jim Bartel. You just watch him with the ball. He grabs it early, makes sure he's clunked it. You just see here, and then pulls the ball down very quickly straight away. So the ball can't be chopped out of his arms.
It's been a tough spot, but I don't think there's any other player in this long side at least should want it in his hands.
Haven't got time to track down the origins of Plunkett. In comes Bartel. He's got the goal! The Cats are in front, but they haven't got the cream quite yet.
Can you mark my race card tomorrow, Lee? You said Cloak earlier. You said you're 3 for 3.
Now, Bartel, I reckon, is one of the best set shots at goals I've seen. He just is really controlled, kicks the ball long, kicks the ball powerfully. He didn't get the ball in the air. He kicked it fairly low and flat to try and make sure the wind didn't affect it as much as it would if it was up goalpost high.
It's the reaction here from Jim Bartel after kicking that goal. He's one of those players that does a lot of aspects of the game exceptionally well. He's about 6'1" in the old, can take a contested mark, go back and kick a crunch goal and wins his own football.
Not normally that demonstrative, is he? So Geelong haven't been in front since the 12-minute mark of the second quarter until now. But Collingwood win the important clearance. Pendlebury forward. Hunt, he's a left footer. Well played. Mackie running hard. Dick to run him down. Mackie very wide. Free kick, Bartel. The free kick.
He's had control of Barker in the contest pretty much, Davis, but in the contest, Bartel's very, very different. Very good one-on-one player.
Both Corey and Bartel have had big last quarters for Geelong. Kicks the ball to about 40. Podsy out. Oh! Scream at the back. Menzel couldn't hang on. Buckley's handball. Thomas under pressure. You feel like this is Geelong's chance here. They are on top. If they can get the next goal, look at Menzel.
He's not shy, is he?
He's not shy.
Having a crack at it. There's no holding back now. If you've got a chance to jump on that forward 50.
He is something, is Menzel.
Yep. 10th game, 13 career goals already, and a big one in this term. Kelly looking for a free kick, tossed the head back. He wasn't taken high. Strong tackle by Heath Shaw.
Apart from the numbers in close, the positioning of players, that three-quarter kick from this stoppages is so important. It could go anywhere, quick kick.
So often games don't live up to the hype. They fizz out, but this has been terrific. Difficult conditions, not pretty, as I said, at three-quarter time, but players of both sides just giving everything. They want top spot. What about tomorrow? It's about tonight. Over the top, Wood. Knocks it out of bounds. Did it go out on the
That's a
full?
free kick.
Yes, it did. Free kick to the Cats. Corey to take it. Crowd a little confused. They think it was deliberate. It just went out on the full. Joel Corey played a solid 4 quarters. His centering kick. In from the side again. Bartel. Did he touch the ball? I'm not sure he did. Jimmy's trying to sell it. Podsiadly took the mark.
No, I don't think it was
the second attempt.
It was Podsiadly.
Well, Jimmy soared above the pack. Watch this. There's Bartel from the right. But his hands
close
did
enough.
not
He was the
touch
front
the
hands,
footy.
yeah.
Wow.
Normally the guy that comes down with it when there's a lot of hands up for the footy will get paid. Well, he's had a few shots from this part of the ground. Has to nail one soon.
2 coaches. About 650 games of coaching experience between them. Podsiadly gets one for Chris Scott.
He needs a big game at the MCG. He hasn't had a big game, but he's actually having an influence, isn't he, now? I feel like he's becoming an important target.
Certainly done a lot of the basics well. He's presented. He's taken a very strong mark on the wing, and that was the icing on the cake. Shows some really good nerve to go back and after kicking, I think it was 4 behinds. A couple of behinds, 2 behinds.
One out of bounds on the
one out of bounds on the full, and then go back and kick the crushed goal.
Well, this reaction says it all.
It says he'd had a couple of 3 shots of goal from that part of the ground. He's finally nailed one when it really counts late.
8 minutes ago, Collingwood led by 10 points. Now the Cats lead by that margin. Thomas wide to Shaw. Shaw's kick and marked by Dick.
Oh yeah, Matty's good.
Fantastic chase and pressure by Corey. That really affected the kick from Shaw, but Dick just had the awareness, or the ball fell in his arms, whichever.
Well, we saw the sub for Geelong kick a goal from about this very same spot just before 3/4 time. It was an important one. Talk about big kicks right now. And he's missed. So some irony in all of this, because it was Geelong that was missing early, weren't they? And that one was a real chance. So the Cats by a kick and a half. Plenty of time left, but goals have been hard to get tonight.
So Mackie to bring it in. And regardless of what happens,
that's
the remainder of this game tomorrow, Kelly's taking the mark. There is a legitimate challenger now to Collingwood. It's not a one-horse race. Otten's over the top, knocks it down. Taylor moved off the football, came back to him, tries to break a tackle, sends a hand pass to Duncan. Duncan slips it along the boundary, taken by Hunt, goes to Varco. Duncan sold into trouble, gets boot to ball. Reid missed it, runs free at the back, arriving quickly. Stokes bounces off a would-be tackler, taken by Kelly, stolen away there by Goldsack, gave it across towards support Tarrant. Didak to half forward, drifting back. Harry Taylor, the better of the 2 Harrys tonight. Sends it across the ground. Blair marks 53 metres out. Has a man outside. Goes to Dick. Dick runs inside the 50. Can't pick it up though. Runs outside the 50 and lays it off. Here's Shaw.
Shaw looks and steady to the pocket. No mark. It was Cracker down low. Taylor with him.
Thank you.
Gee, Harry just
It was a
didn't have
brave
enough on
kick,
it.
but he went for the hard one. He actually had one to the left of screen that would have been easy. Would have gone 1-2 to Corey, but that was a tough option that he didn't make it.
It was a more attacking kick of the 2, wasn't it?
Well, but it was a long kick to the open field. I mean, that was a really dangerous kick, and they were lucky to survive that turnover.
So Collingwood a kick and a half behind here. 1 defeat in their last 22 matches. Collingwood, ball, well done ball, kicks right to the goal line. And Dawsey's been well held tonight. Again, you've got to give Lonergan a lot of credit tonight.
Geelong defenders have been really good. As the Collingwood, that hasn't been a night for big forwards. Neither big forwards from either side has been really much of an influence on the game.
So Collingwood's peppering away here. Again, a dangerous kick. Taylor brings it down. Well done, Thomas. Didak can't quite. Dawes with a chance. Back to Daisy. And Thomas brings them back within a kick.
What a game.
It think we saw Chris Scott in the coach's box. They got away with one of those little short kick-ins up to the 45, the previous one. But when you're in front, goal and a half in front late in the game, going up a short kick-in to that 45-degree angle out from goal is probably the low percentage kick to make. And the second one got turned over. Taylor's always a good target for that kind of kick, but that created the goal. Let's have a look at this. This is a high-risk kick. Taylor's a good option. As soon as it's intercepted, the Geelong defence is under real pressure.
Crucial centre clear here. We saw at the start of the game how important to get it out of the guts is. No better time than now.
Pendlebury straight up in the air. Joel Corey thought he had it. Left it behind. Pendlebury over the top of Selwood. Back comes Corey. Woods got him.
Well battled.
From the front. Ball had him from the back.
With a centre bounce mark too. There's just more players in the centre of the ground.
Just over 4 minutes remaining. Geelong by 2 points. Bruce. I've got that feeling again. Oh! Free kick to Shaw.
It's clumsy.
No doubting that. Christensen coming in high and late. Davis drives it down towards left half forward. Going back with the flight of it. Missing the football side bottom. Dawes a dirty night. Appeared to go out, did it? Thought it did. Boundary throw in. Don't need this sort of game really on fan appreciation night for the umpires. Set them back 50 years. Out of the congestion, Wellingham spills across the ball. He was slung back to Wellingham. Same result. Now it comes to Davis off the outside of the boot. Cloak settles in front. Almost the mark. Tantalisingly close. Falls to Blair. Knocked out of there by Stokes. In goes Taylor. Stokes has got the football. Loose at the back. Taylor tries to dig it out. Christensen. He couldn't control it. Joel Corey. Despairing runs. Gritted his teeth. Got it across to Barco. Barco breaks through midfield. Sol Chapman into trouble. Goldsack got him. And a ball up.
First running bounce of the night there by Travis Barker. Unbelievable work in the contest there by Joel Corey.
How many players touched the footy till it eventually got clear from that half back? But at least he tried to run and carry it. Barco, maybe the hand pass was too pressured.
Cats just forward of centre. Swans kick wide. Every contest now critical. Side bottom. Still side bottom. Trying to get some meterage. Dawes and Lonergan. Oh, gee.
Hands in the back foot.
So Dawes, there's a long kick. Dawes pumped it in, and that one just eluding both the boundary line and Cloak, and Collingwood get it within 50 metres of goal.
Not a bad result. Just see the crowd there, 81,000.
Seventh time Geelong have been in a home and away crowd of over 80. The 42nd time for Collingwood.
Every week for them.
Just clumsy options, wasn't he?
Just a tired, sort of two strong bodies. In some ways, the weak body lost the height, and that created the high tackle. He's a good kick of the football, Cameron Wood. This is a long, pressured shot, but he is a good kick of the footy.
Well, he struggled to make a mark at Collingwood. This would help. Probably the biggest kick in his career. It's pretty good. It's very, very good. It hasn't quite got there. Thomas, still Thomas. Ball comes out. Well played, Ottens. He tidied it up. Selwood says to Duncan, hang on to it.
The Magpies a bit stiff there. The play stop. Pendlebury just seemed to take it in the one action and move off. Well, Duncan's got the football.
It's long, fairly central.
Tarrant tried to mark it, falls behind as a result. Close to the boundary line, taken across by Stokes in front of Davis. Clock stops at 1:51. 64 plays 62. Gee, we've seen some wonderful finishes this season.
Need to roll the dice here, Collingwood. Get on the move off this stoppage.
If Geelong can just control the footy, they could win from here. Corey over his shoulder, taken by Barco, inside the forward 50. Chapman leads in the race. Swan is gathering him up. Swan and Chapman. Oh, wonderful by Reid. Threw himself across the boot. Barco! Oh! defied geometry there.
Got no idea why he tried that. Why wouldn't you try and pick it up? But nevertheless, he tried it.
If you were going to do something stupid, that was the stupid thing to do.
Corey Enright, quickly.
This is where the whole possession goes. You only got over a minute to go. Collingwood just have to get out of their back 50 now and make sure there's no 3 Geelong players. And they've done that pretty well. Very disciplined the way they've quickly got back upfield. This will be long down the line.
So the margin 3 points. The only defeat Collingwood's had in the last 22 matches was 3 points to Hawthorn here last year in round 22. So Geelong milking the clock. So the season not quite turned on its head if Geelong win, but boy, we do have 2 very, very even and great teams. The kick touch, half forward. The Cats, Podsiadly, a real chance. Johnson's kick in forward, and Harry's got it.
Now you can hold on to it for 30 seconds because this is a shot for goal.
That should see them out.
At Wheeler's line, I think the runner probably is telling, they never know the exact seconds, but I'm sure the runner is telling Taylor it's really late in the game. Hold on to the footy until the umpire makes you kick it.
Well done, Chris Scott. He's beaten a legend tonight. It was worth the wait. Geelong win. They remain undefeated. And Collingwood know they've got a rival. 3 points the margin. Game. Geelong by 3 points over Collingwood in Joel Selwood's 100th match, and can you believe it? It's his 85th win. He's won 85 out of the 100. It's remarkable. Down to you, Tim.
Well, Joel, what a way to celebrate the 100th game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what a way. It's the boys just never give in. It's happened a couple of times to us this year, and we never think we're going to lose. We're playing some good footy and got the job done.
Tell us about the pressure out here tonight.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, it's just one of those games. It's sort of like finals footy. But yeah, as I said, got the job done.
You're a hard nut to crack, though, Collingwood, aren't they?
They are. We couldn't break them. I mean, we had it in there for plenty of the first half and just couldn't get the score on the board. So they're a very good team.
And for a great part of that game, you had a great contest too with Daisy Thomas.
Yeah, every now and then I matched up on Daisy. He's a very handy player, so got away from me a bit there and then.
Well done.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Well, what a career for him. And Chris Scott, 7-0. Geelong, the first team ever to have 3 seasons in the last 4 where they've started 7-0.
Unbelievable. They've just been such a good side. Tonight was just a grafting win. I mean, eventually they've got 8 goals, 17. I mean, they're inaccurate, but they just grafted it. It wasn't a play on, link up, carry the footy type of game. It was a forward footy, win the contest, kick it forward. I mean, they've ended up winning the stoppages 35-27. You do that against Collingwood, you deserve to win.
Down to you, Tim.
I've actually got Karen Ling with me. Just quickly, didn't want to do an interview, but Lingy, how's your shoulder?
Yeah, it's all pretty good. It's a little bit sore, but yeah, no, it'll be fine, mate. It's always good when you win.
That was a terrific win.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, really hard forward. Obviously, things didn't quite go to plan. We missed a few shots we should have kicked, and they're a quality side. So, just really pleasing that we could get over the line. I think shows both teams are pretty good teams, and I suppose it's going to be a good year.
Well, good luck with the injury this week.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Good stuff. Magnificent contest here. It wasn't pretty, but it had everything else. And in the end, the Cats, with all the scoring shots, won 8-17-65 over Collingwood, 9 goals, 8-62.